Welcome to Wildcat Stadium here in Temple, Texas, where the Westlake Chaparrals are in town to take care of the Temple Wildcats. Big battle going on right here. A couple of Class 5A teams that have had a lot of success throughout the years. Welcome to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Alongside Travis Stewart, I'm Jeff Power, and we've got ourselves a great matchup tonight. Angela Heyman will be joining us from the sideline in just a few minutes. But first of all, I like this matchup. First stop here in Temple, and a great opportunity to see two really good football teams.
Two 1-0 football teams,
On top of
which
that.
is actually a little surprising, I think, because Westlake had a very difficult Week 0 matchup with Cedar Park. Temple did not have an easy row with Round Rock either. So both of these teams have already come in battle-tested, but they got a lot of talent, Jeff. There's no reason both, couldn't make a good run at 2-0.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and that's why we're here, in fact. And Temple, of course, with those blue and white uniforms, blue going one way, white going the other. Westlake will be in the white tops with the trimmed out in gray and red. Well, let's check in now with Angela Heyman, who is along the sidelines and has more about what she'll be covering down the side. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff. This is going to be a great matchup tonight. These are two 5A schools with big football traditions. The teams are fired up. The fans are here. They're loud. They're going to be yelling for their teams to pull out a win tonight. Don't forget that if you're at a big game tonight and you see something that we should know about, tweet to me at @SportsAngela and use the hashtag #FootballFriday. Thanks, guys.
All righty, Angela, good stuff right there. And let's go ahead and talk a bit more about this matchup. It's a great matchup on paper. As you said, two teams coming in here, both 1-0. And I would say with Westlake's 21-7 win over Cedar Park last week, that caught a few people off guard, that 21-7 victory. But, hey, Temple, they played great on both sides of the ball, scoring 48 points on top of that.
They sure did. And really, I think these two teams, Jeff, are looking to win maybe in different ways tonight. Westlake's a good offensive team, but they really win with their defense. As you said, 7 points allowed on Cedar Park last week was very impressive. But Temple brings a high-powered offense to the table. A really good quarterback, we're going to hear from him in just a little bit. A really good running back, a great offensive line. It's two divergent styles, and whoever wins, obviously, well, they were a little more prepared for it.
So that is one of the matchups we'll be looking at tonight. Of course, we've got highlights from all over the state coming in tonight. Another big matchup, Big Country, Aledo and Stephenville. These two teams have played a lot throughout the last few years, and I tell you, it's been a great rivalry.
It has. It's actually kind of a rivalry week, Jeff. There's a lot of really good games out there. We're going to talk a little bit more Aledo-Stephenville later on this evening about some of the history they've had together. But for right now, Aledo comes off a big win against Highland Park. Stephenville comes off a disappointing loss against Monterrey Prepa Tech, a team from Mexico. Two teams going in different directions. Now we need to see who wins.
You talk about rivalries. How about Lamarck and Texas City? These two schools very close together down there just north of the Galveston area, and that's a great matchup down in the Houston area.
It is, and it doesn't get talked about a lot statewide, but that really is a good historical rivalry. And believe it or not, Jeff, these two communities, Lamarck's actually shrinking a little bit. They had talked about merging together at one point, and both sides said, no, we're not doing it. We got to keep this game going. Lamarck's got a really good defense, but Texas City's run game was wonderful in Week 0. It's another strength-on-strength matchup.
Yeah, so you got Stephenville and Lamarck both moving down to Class 3A. How about the Rio Grande Valley with Donna and Weslaco? Another interesting matchup early on.
I'm pretty excited about this one. I think most people in the Valley are too. Again, we'll talk more about this throughout the night, but this is the first time these two have played since 2007, and that was a very, very old rivalry before they've temporarily suspended it. Donna holds the all-time advantage. That's who you're seeing right now. A lot of talent out there, very good running game. But look, in a game this intense with so much talent on the field, realistically anything can happen.
Of course, Donna winning that state championship back in the 60s. The last time a team from the Rio Grande Valley won a state championship in football. San Antonio, Sabine, and New Braunfels, this game being played over at Unicorn Stadium.
The Guadalupe Bowl, depending on how you want to pronounce it, but maybe not the best rivalry in terms of balance. New Braunfels really holds a decided edge here, but it's one of the most heartfelt and sincere rivalries I think out there. The two communities respect each other, and there's a lot of fun traditions that accompany it. We'll talk about that later tonight. New Braunfels is going to be the favorite in that one, but these rivalries, those four we just talked about, they really do a good job of emulating what Texas high school football is all about. They're not necessarily Longview Marshall or Permian Lee's, rivalries that the whole country knows about. They're the smaller ones that really bring the small communities together, and that's kind of what the sport really is. It's small communities being out here celebrating their own communities.
Hey, and anytime Matadors and Unicorns get together,
that's a mascot
throw out
bowl.
the records.
That's a mascot bowl.
No kidding. All right, hey, much more to get to. We've got 4 hours of coverage from here in the Temple area. We got 6 hours of coverage here on Fox Sports Southwest and Fox Sports Houston. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back with Fox Football Friday.
is presented by State Farm. Visit texas.statefarm.com to enter the Fan Up Truck Sweepstakes. Buy your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club and spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today.
Camera on the field. We're only seeing the camera on the field.
Yeah, we don't see what's actually airing.
We don't see
just
the program.
We see Stevie's camera. That's it.
Number 7, Chad President, son of Monto President and Susan West. Number 8, Devontae McLennan, son of Kendra McLennan. Standing with Devontae tonight is Coach Solution. Number 9 is DeMarcus Mathis, son of Ken Williams. Number 10, Devontae Langram with his mom, Tamika Webb, and little brother, Jaron Langram. Number 11, Marcus Cook.
This is the monitor here. It's on the wrong one. Yeah.
And Stephanie Richards. Number 12, Zachary Allen, son of Scott and Debbie
There you go.
Allen.
It's black and white, but
we'll
I
do
mean,
it.
it's better than we had.
Son of Dennis Anderson.
There it is. It's good. It's color. Welcome to Fox Football Friday. We're back here in Temple, where, of course, Temple is taking on Westlake. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart joining you, Angela Heyman on the sidelines. Let's talk more about this game. Let's begin with Temple.
Well, like we said earlier, a lot of big offense out here. Quarterback Zach Allen, really talented kid, ran the Elite 11 circuit in the offseason, which, if you don't know, essentially puts the best quarterbacks in the country into a long, summer-long competition to see who's the Elite 11 appropriately. Very talented kid, but he's got a very good running back, too, in Galen Sanders. And the two of them kind of give the twin-engine attack to Temple. Makes it really hard for defenses to key in on one or the other. Well, luckily, Westlake's a pretty good defensive squad. They may be able to wrap them up pretty well.
Yeah, in fact, Westlake only gave up 13 points in district, and that was all of the district games combined last season. So we'll see a good defensive effort from Westlake. But more about Temple here. I think the fact that Mike Spradlin has done a fine job here. I mean, coming off this big win here this past week, but he's done a nice job since coming over from Abilene Cooper.
He really has, and actually he did a pretty good job at Abilene Cooper as well. He's done a really good job building programs, taking teams that are close to bottoming out and then building them back up. We actually talked to him a little bit earlier today about some of what went into rebuilding Temple.
Well, you know, for us, this is what we kind of set up for. You know, we're going to play 2 games here in a row. They're going to hopefully get us ready for our district race. We think we're in a real tough district. You know, I've had a little more history probably with Westlake than they have, but we think they're obviously a great football team, a state-ranked team, and we're excited about tonight.
All right, so as you can see, the success that he has had over there at Abilene Cooper before coming here to Temple, it's been fantastic.
Well, it's been steady growth. As you can see by the graphic, he started out 4-6, under 500, but again, the team was struggling at that point, got him to 5-6 playoffs the next year. 8-5, 9-4. By the end of things, they were 11-2 in a regional and even a state semifinal contender. Then he left and came to Temple, a program that was in similar straits. They were around that middling range, under 500, right at 500. Had some good players, just didn't really have an identity yet. And he's provided them that, and then bang, last year they're a playoff team, and all of a sudden things are off and running.
Yeah, Zach Allen going to Syracuse, and of course Galen Sanders, heard he's going to Eastern Illinois, so a couple of players who will be playing at the next level. And keep an eye out for Chad President, their wide receiver. He's someone you definitely want to look out for on the field. He's got a great name, too.
President, that's wonderful. But also, we can't forget the offensive line, Jeff. Temple's got a pretty good one named Freddie Johnson, who's going to SMU. And if you have good offensive linemen in high school, we'll travel. You can win a lot of games.
D'Artagnan C got hurt last week. He's their inside linebacker, has 4.4 speed, but he broke his ankle in last week's game against Round Rock, so he won't be playing this when he's out for at least a month. So we'll see what happens in in that situation. But let's go ahead and take a look at. Let's send it back down as we have more with the players. More with the players here at the game at Temple.
I've always said that you have to hate losing more than you like winning, and I really feel like I compete every day in everything I do. I attack every rep and every game I play, whether it's horseshoes or football, I try to win it.
Okay, I believe that was the quarterback, Zach Allen. But let's check in now with Angela along the sidelines here, who's got more with us. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff. Well, I am here with John Farwell. He's a State Farm agent. He's here tonight to tell us a little bit about why State Farm is so involved with high school athletics and why it's so important to them. John, tell me a little bit about the scholarship that State Farm is giving away.
Thank you, Angela. Yes, we are giving away $75,000 like we did last year, more than 50 separate scholarships. It's a combination of the athletic and the academics where you can have community involvement. A lot of people can win it. It's at TexasScholarAward.com for more information. You can get that information there.
That's great. And also tell me a little bit about the Fan Up sweepstakes that State Farm is doing.
Oh, that's the good one. The Fan Up sweepstakes, you can win 2 Ford F-150s that are given away. And if you text FAN UP to 35350, then you can enter to win. State Farm is looking for the ultimate Texas fan. So they're giving away December 22nd and May 5th, Ford F-150 on each date.
Pretty big prize. And if somebody in this area wanted to get a hold of you, how could they?
JohnFarwell.com.
Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
Okay, Angela, do appreciate that. Of course, State Farm, a great sponsor with us here on Fox Football Friday. Let's check in with another sponsor, Academy, because it is the Academy Sports Desk time. Let's check in with Rick Renner back in the studio. Rick, what do you have for us this evening?
And Wildcat band members. We begin with the beautiful kitten, Luisa Aldana. She's escorted tonight by her mother.
Winning start off the new big game of the week season this year with 2 amazing venues. Last week, we introduced you to Allen's $60 million stadium complete with an indoor golf range for the coaches. This week, the oldest concrete stadium in the U.S. of A., Jones Stadium in El Paso, which has the prettiest views in the country, and it cost $500,000 plus the school to build in 1916. Of course, Neil Beasley and the gang will be all over it, and as we look at 4A's El Paso High against the private school and Cathedral, both share the same stadium, which is rich in tradition and history, and both teams are loaded with talent. The school sits up on the hill, and it's known as the Lady on the Hill. Gorgeous views of El Paso, and of course the Mexican side in Juarez. Can't wait to see that. Well, you'll see the big game of the week on Scoreboard Live coming up on the Late Show. And of course, the world-famous Fox Sports Southwest girls will join me. They'll tell you what's going on Twitter, and make sure you sign up at foxsportssouthwest.com so you can get your game day photos on TV. Let's take a break. Back out to the tradition-rich duel in Temple tonight after this short timeout.
Westlake at Temple. We're here at Wildcat Stadium. Fox Football Friday continuing. This is the live portion of the show. We've got the Blitz coming up at the bottom of the hour, and then late tonight it's overtime and much more. Be sure to join us each and every Saturday morning at 8:30 right here on Fox Sports Southwest as we highlight the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week winners. You can also watch our show online at playersoftheweek.com, powered by your Texas Ford dealers.
Now, I've not been empowered with an actual vote or nomination yet, but if I had a guy to pick pregame, I'd be looking at a guy we just heard talk in the last segment. That would be Temple quarterback Zach Allen. As we said, ran the Elite 11 circuit in the offseason, going to Syracuse. But take a look at the numbers. Last week, he had 223 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Then last season, very good, Jeff, 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns passing in all of last season. And just for good measure, last week he was also the team's leading rusher. So did a little bit everything for Temple. They won big. Now they have a chance to go to 2-0. Maybe can have another big game for us here tonight.
Yeah, no question about it. And Zach Allen definitely deserving, and he's a great player. The greater Austin area loaded with a lot of talent. I got a chance to stop by some of the schools in that greater Austin area, and we talked a little football and trying to find out who is good. Here's the story.
Central Texas is coming off one of its most successful runs in recent history in football. Of course, when you start in the greater Austin area, you have to begin with 5-time defending state champion Lake Travis. Baker Mayfield returns at quarterback for the Cavs, bigger and stronger after throwing for 3,700 yards and 45 touchdowns. The Cavaliers will be balanced behind the strong running game of Sean Nixon, but they moved up from Class 4A to 5A and will have to go through Region 2 to earn a 6th state title in a row. LT head coach Hank Carter says his team is up for the challenge.
You know, excited for everybody, the senior class that graduated, being a part of 5 straight state championships, and then also the fact that we have our leading passer, our leading rusher, and leading receiver coming back at an attempt at number 6 is pretty exciting for the coaching staff too.
The Westlake Chaparrals are also in District 15 5A and will once again be stacked on defense. The Chaps only allowed 14 total points in 5 district games last season. Offensively, new quarterback Jordan Sievert brings good size and ability to a spread offense known for balance. Westlake's size and toughness up front on the offensive line is a strength as well.
Well, definitely the O-line is huge for us. I mean, if you can't block, you can't get anything blocked, you can't do anything on offense, no matter how good your skill guys are. And I think we'll have a good group of guys this year. We got a ton of size, one of the biggest lines we've had in a while, so it should be good.
Well, toughness is a big part of football, you know, and if you see the great teams and the teams that go win championships, they've got physical players on offense and defense.
Westwood and Pflugerville are the favorites in 16 5A. The Warriors lost 2-time district MVP Ben Johnson to graduation, but Westwood head coach Anthony Wood is excited about his new leader in the QB position, Bear Fenimore, who is a junior under center.
You know, the identity of the offense is just basically, you know, up-tempo, high intensity. We're going to play clean, but, you know, we're going to come right at you. A lot of points going to be scored.
I think we have a good chance to go farther than last year. I mean, we got a good quarterback, so I think we're ready.
You know, one of our first goals was to be practicing on Thanksgiving Day. We've accomplished that. And then after that, our next goal is to be playing right before Christmas. And so, you know, we're getting there.
Here at Cedar Park High School, former head coach Chris Ross is now the athletic director at Leander ISD. The new head football coach of the Timberwolves is Joe Willis. He was the defensive coordinator for the Timberwolves, and he takes over a football team loaded once again with talent.
We're excited about the senior leadership we have right now, and obviously we've got a team that's seasoned and experienced. They've been in the playoffs. They understand what that's about, and we look forward to the opportunities this year.
The Timberwolves returned 3 starters on a defense that allowed only 12 points per game. But depth is not a problem at Cedar Park, and they have great speed and size on both sides of the ball, especially on the offensive line.
I think we'll be well balanced. I mean, we have great running backs, we have great quarterbacks, we have great fullbacks. Everything we're going to be able to do, it's going to be sharp and we're going to look good.
Defending district champion Leander moves down from 5A to 4A and will be the biggest threat to Cedar Park as the Lions return 14 starters, including 9 on a great defense led by linebacker Hayden Newsom and defensive back Tevin Smith, who also plays receiver.
Yeah, we got a pretty good defense coming back. We got to come back on offense, and they give us a good look every time. We get the ball around, stopping the run, and we should be pretty good on defense this year.
Definitely, I think we're coming together. We've got a lot of senior leadership on there, even though there's some new guys coming up to varsity.
Yeah, that was Leander right there talking, and of course they beat Hendrickson last week 35-7. But the story here, Westlake taking on Temple, and an interesting matchup, of course. You saw some of that video with Westlake early in that story. Shotgun alley, I love it. They lined up 3-on-3 and just mashed each other. They said that's all about being physical.
Well, I mean, that's what Darren Allman, the head coach out there, brings to the table, Jeff. I mean, he used to be at Odessa Permian, where physical football is more or less a rite of passage. So when he came out to Westlake, he brought that gritty, hard-hitting nature with him, and I think it showed a lot in the game last week, Jeff, against Cedar Park.
Yeah, their defense looked really great in that game, had a bunch of big sacks, and of course only allowed the 7 points to a good Cedar Park team, and then put 21 on the board. And Jordan Siebert was really the story. He looked so calm and relaxed as the quarterback. He's about 6'5". This is his first time to actually be the starting quarterback for Westlake, but he looks good, and we talked about it with him and his coach.
It fits me well because I can stand back there. I can sling the ball around because I'm tall. I can see over my line and make quick reads. I think I like the offense a lot.
Well, there's a lot of people excited about Jordan Sievert, and he certainly passes the eye test. He's got all the intangibles that you want in a leader and a quarterback. He's very level-headed and mature, great person and a great leader. When you got a quarterback like Jordan, you've got a chance to be good. You have to have that, and that's at all levels. It all starts with the quarterback. Glad more than anything else that we've got him in our locker room as an example for our other players.
Yeah, and he is someone that is very good in that locker room, Jordan Sievert, of course.
Exactly. When you have a quarterback like that everyone seems to rally around and can be productive both on and off the field, makes a huge difference in high school football. And like you said, big, tall kid. A lot of colleges going to be coming looking at him, I bet.
We'll see what he's got tonight. Highlights of this game, much more. We're kicking off at 7:30. We can't show you live highlights, but we can show them to you right after they happen. Stick around. We'll be right back here on Fox Football Friday.
Jeff, you're going to have to tell us when graphics are coming up and down for the foreseeable future until the monitor comes back. We're just kind of guessing.
Well, we're seeing the camera on the field.
We have Stevie's camera. That's what we got. He's running around like a madman. He's got to be.
Out of the back of the camera, Steve. It's just a switch, right?
Football Friday Live is presented by State Farm. Visit texas.statefarm.com to enter the Fan Up Truck Sweepstakes. Buy your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff low price, every day. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club and spicy home style or grill. Try one today.
Alrighty, Fox Football Friday here, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Travis Stewart, Jeff Power, Temple getting ready to do battle with Westlake here. And we've got scores and highlights, a lot coming up for you. And plus,
the Wendy's keys to the game. We're going to give you one last quick look at this matchup before we started here at 7:30. And it really starts with defense, I think, for Westlake. Defense, defense, defense. If they can find a way to slow Temple down, it changes the tenor of this game in Westlake's favor. We also want patience under center. And that's actually kind of on both sides, but especially for Temple. Zach Allen's a talented kid, but he has to take what Westlake gives him. He can't force an issue or the Chaps to turn the ball over. Temple's ground game is going to be big, too. Zach's a good player, but he can't do it all himself. So Galen Sanders and that talented offensive line are really going to have to mesh. They're going to have to click. And then lastly, home crowd heroes. This is a big stadium behind us, Jeff. A lot of people here. It's a good, loud crowd, always has been. They're going to need every bit of that if they're going to want to push into the front over Westlake, because Westlake's used to playing in front of crowds like this. But Temple's a special place. This is one of the best places for football and for Dave Campbell's Texas football, actually. They always come out and support the brand. But this is a big, special place, and these fans may be able to change the pace of a game if they get into it early.
yeah, let's watch out for Keith Buell also. He's a pretty good wide receiver slash running back for Temple as well. Let's also take a look at just a little bit more about Temple here. Of course, 1993, they won the state championship game. Give me your thoughts about that squad and where they are now.
Well, I think that just goes to show you what this community is all about, and a guy like Bob McQueen and everything that he did for this city and this program, that people look at Temple now and think, oh, shucks, I mean, it's been a while since they've been good. But they were the 92 Class 5A Division II state champions against Yates. I mean, that's a lot of ability to have, and people forget how many state championships Temple's played for. And I'm telling you, I don't think they're far away from being back at that level.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Templetown, of course, one of Texas' finest programs.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the numbers. I mean, 39 total playoff appearances in their program history, which is one of the best in the state. They're 5A's third all-time winningest team behind just Plano and Amarillo. And then they're also the state's fifth all-time winningest team when you add in teams like Martin and a few others. 7 title game appearances. Now, here's the bad part. Only 2 state championships. They're 2-5 in those games. That's still pretty good.
All right, let's check in with Angela on the sidelines. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff. Well, get this. If Temple wins tonight, it'll be the first time since 2003 that they've started 2-0. The guys that are seniors on this team, they were in 3rd grade then. I'm pretty sure they're going to want to break that streak and get the win tonight. It's going to be a good game.
All righty, very good. Appreciate that, Angela. And, of course, don't forget the Blitz coming up right around the corner here. We'll show you highlights right after they happen. We can't show them to you live, but the next best thing.
Exactly. Also, make sure you check in with us at social media. Tweet us at DCTF and at SportsAngela. That's Angela Hammond, our sideline reporter's addresses. We'll pump out whatever you say to us back out to you guys on the screen.
We've got a great game here lined up for you, plus highlights and scores from all over the state. Stick around. The Blitz is next here on Fox Football Friday.
Okay, we've got us in black and white on the monitor, but I don't know if that's what's. Damn, are we going to get it, or is it not going to happen? It's going to be a long night.
Son,
I'll tell him.
We got.
To add to our laundry list of issues, Angela cannot hear Jeff and I at the desk. Oh, Angela can hear Jeff, not me.
Yeah, I was getting the same thing. It's like it kind of cuts in and out. Like, brrr, yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's one way to get the lead out of the way. Just drop the canvas.
That'll work.
Checking out my Seals Jones. I haven't received it yet.
I can't get my Twitter to work again now either. There we go.
Please rise for our national anthem.
Welcome to Fox Football Friday. It's the Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Travis Stewart, Jeff Power with you. Angela Heyman on the sideline. We're here in Temple. The Wildcats taking on Westlake. Battle of undefeated teams. Great matchup here in what we technically call week 1, even though it's the second week.
Which it's really time to fix, by the way. High school coaches really got to
let's
work
get
that
past
out.
0 week already.
Exactly. As Jeff said, undefeated teams, 2 1-0 teams going head-to-head tonight. But there's a lot of other good teams out here in the Hill Country, Jeff, just a little bit south down the way in the greater Austin area. Let's take a look at, some of who those top teams are this year.
Yeah, obviously, Lake Travis, they are the 5-time defending champions, all in 4A. This year they moved to 5A, of course, but that's a squad that's loaded. Of course, after their big win over Converse Judson last week, they look as good as ever. We'll have highlights of them later on tonight as they take on New Braunfels Canyon.
New Braunfels Canyon, yeah, it's tough to look anyplace else besides Lake Travis as your top team, but you've also got Westlake right there. That's the team we're going to have behind us tonight. I think, realistically, they're number 2, and those 2 teams will have a chance to flesh it out later on this season when they go head-to-head in district play. Also look at Cedar Park and Leander. They definitely have to be in your top 5 as well. As you said, Cedar Park took a heavy loss last week to Westlake, but that's a Westlake team that we said is second best in the region. Leander comes in at 4th. They got a big win last week, and then Round Rock Westwood, this team that's really been charging up the ranks over the past couple weeks, they come in at couple seasons, they come in at number 5.
We talk about Westlake beating Cedar Park last week. Remember, Cedar Park's a 4A team, and they were hanging with. They did score the first touchdown in that game against Westlake, and it was probably closer than the game looked.
Yeah.
How about Westwood? This is a team that under head coach Anthony Wood, they've been doing much better. Last year, a great playoff run, and they're off to a good start this year as well.
Well, the big question is what were they going to look like without Ben Johnson? So let's go ahead and take a listen in on our radio on KMAX Sports and see how their game so far is going.
And it will be a keeper. Eschenberg straight up the gut right there, all the way out to about the 35. That's going to be close to a first down.
Something that Westwood is definitely used to seeing, and that's the zone read. That was run really nicely right up the middle of the field for a game about 7 yards and then make it 3rd and short.
Absolutely. Just shy of that first down marker. As we welcome you in, our KMAX Sports presentation exclusively on KMAX Sports, Westwood Warrior Football, presented by Dr. B.J. Myers, DDS here. Friday night from South Austin. So a 3rd down and 1 coming up here right at 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. Eschenberg will hand it off to Scott, running to the right side, still on his feet. And he's knocked out of bounds somewhere around the 38, but he does pick up the Bulldog first down. And so the Bulldogs,
Good start out there, obviously, for Westwood, taking on a pretty good Bowie team tonight, but a Bowie team that lost last week and struggled in the passing game. They'll have to make improvements this week if they want to knock off Westwood.
Yeah, they fell to Pflugerville last week. But, Westwood, well-rounded team. Of course, in week 0, had a lot of different players step up for them.
They really did, and it was a versatile effort. Garrett Gibbons had a rushing touchdown. Tanner Osborne had a touchdown. Bear Fenimore, their quarterback, had a touchdown. Ty Marshall had 2. Then Bear Fenimore, like we said, also threw for 207 yards. And like I said, they were looking for a guy to replace Ben Johnson, their great quarterback last season. But when he left, they needed a variety of stars to step up, and unbelievably, they had that right off the bat, right in week 0. Great showing for them so far.
And, we talked about New Braunfels Canyon. They got that red field, and they're, of course, going over to Lake Travis. And, of course, Lake Travis had some renovations going on at their stadium in the offseason this year as well. New scoreboard, new artificial surface, and, of course, also the new press box area. So Lake Travis excited about their big game tonight against New Braunfels Canyon. And I really think that this is a game that Coach Carter feels like they can win. But, the players, they think they can win 6 consecutive state championships. And why wouldn't they say that? We caught up with Sean Nixon, and he talked about the fact that he thinks their team can make it 6 in a row.
I'm pretty sure a lot of 5A people have doubts in us, but all that matters is what we think, and we think we're going to go out and win 6. So we got to lead this team to another state championship, and guys they're looking at us like, you got to lead them. So the alumni are watching us, and we're just trying to do the best of our abilities.
All right, that's Sean Nixon right there, number 22. Of course, he waved at us right there at the end. Good timing there, Sean. But, Nixon's a great running back for Lake Travis, and he's going to be the guy that's going to really see what they can do on the ground this year in Class 5A. That'll be huge for Lake Travis.
Exactly, and they're going to take a New Braunfels Canyon team that's, I think, hurting a little bit. They lost last week to Killeen with 45 seconds left on a 66-yard touchdown. That's going to hurt, and how Canyon bounces back will determine a lot of how this game fleshes out, I think.
Yeah, and Lake Travis, of course, last week we talked about their big win over Converse Judson, sporting those helmets. You see the 5 stars on there. That's been a big thing for them this year. Of course, putting the 5th star, meaning 5 consecutive state championships. Their special teams stepped up big. You see the block punt right there. And then their quarterback, I mean, what can you say? Baker Mayfield stepped in last year, did a fantastic job, off to another great start this year.
Exactly, had a huge game in week 0, complemented by his best wide receiver, Zach Austin, who also had a big game, 4 touchdown catches, and you add that in running back Sean Nixon, who we saw speaking there in that soundbite just a second ago. It's a pretty good top offensive trio. They're going to be tough to beat.
How about Pflugerville-Hendrickson at Leander? Interesting matchup. Both teams maybe came out of a different start, with Hendrickson falling pretty big last week in their game against
well, it wasn't a good start for Hendrickson, but Leander had a great start by beating out Connolly. And I think if Hendrickson wants to win, the biggest thing they're going to need to do is avoid mistakes, because Caleb Woodward for Leander can really hurt you. 152 yards rushing last week, 3 rushing touchdowns, 64 yards passing, a passing touchdown. He had 216 of the team's 307 total yards. Everything Leander did offensively kind of went through Caleb Woodward, which is why he's a college recruit, which is why Leander's a pretty dangerous team.
And Hendrickson lost to Rouse last week.
That's
I couldn't
right.
get it out there for a second, but Leander Rouse doing a nice job against Hendrickson last week. Now, other games that we're going to be watching out for. Give me your thoughts about other big games.
Well, I think Giddings at Wimberley is another good place to go in the Hill Country. Wimberley obviously right in the breadbasket for that. And both of them had thrilling finishes last week, just maybe not the way they wanted them to. Wimberley almost lost to Llano, which is a team that they were heavily favored to beat them by a point, whereas Giddings came back with a 22-point fourth quarter and ended up downing Liberty Hill, which is a very talented Hill Country 3A team. So Giddings has to be flying a little high. I think Wimberley maybe is trying to figure some things out. In the end, I kind of like Wimberley here. I know their defense is going to be pretty good, and their offense kind of has to figure out what's going on for them right now. But in this game, I think I like Wimberley, and down in the road, I think they're going to be a pretty talented team.
All right, Austin Anderson and Buda Hayes. Of course, Hayes consolidated coming off a huge win last week. Kimbrough, their quarterback, had a nice game. This is a team that you want to watch out for this week.
Caleb Kimbrough is a pretty good little player, and I think, everyone talks about your top 4 or 5 quarterbacks recruiting-wise in the state, but that doesn't mean there's not a lot of other good quarterbacks out there in the high school ranks, and Caleb Kimbrough is obviously going to be one of those guys. Now, Austin Anderson, they had a tough run last week, did not do well offensively, but, hey, at least their one touchdown was a 97-yard touchdown run from Daryl Bunton. If they can, keep that big play offense going, if they can be a quick strike team again, well, you can beat a team like Hayes.
All right, let's check in with Angela down here on the sidelines. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff. Well, Westlake just kicked off the Temple. Temple's in a timeout right now. They just flashed the temperature on the scoreboard, 105 degrees. It's a hot one down here. Hopefully the players can just make it through. Back to you, Jeff.
All right, Angela, 105 degrees, but it's a cool 104 on the set.
Yeah, barely. It feels like 105.
Temple and Westlake. This is a great matchup. Again, we'll show you the highlights after they happen, and we'll be checking in throughout the entire state of Texas tonight. East, west, north, south, you name it. We got you covered here. Highlights, scores, a little bit of Skype. We'll get you taken care of right here on Fox Football Friday. We'll be right back to talk about the greater Houston area.
Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. Buy Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Buy Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today. And by FredLoya.com.
The top story in this segment, Ricky Seals-Jones. Can we move it to 2 segments away in the statewide? Because we'll have highlights by then.
Hey, Jeff, I have a question for you real quick. The Twitter bar looks like it's picking up the very first tweets I put out. But those were like half an hour ago. Can we restart it to put out what I'm putting out? Okay, sorry. Okay.
Someone to score?
No, I think it's just a big first down.
That's Temple about to score.
Mm-hmm.
Get my roster up.
Shocking.
Flag. So we'll drop the Sealy running back for this segment. We'll pick him up in 2 segments. Welcome to Fox Football Friday. It's the Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. We're here at Wildcat Stadium. Temple hosting Westlake, a big matchup here in the Central Texas area. But let's just step aside and go over down to the greater Houston area. You know, the games start at 7 o'clock down there, and some big matchups.
Exactly, and you got to start up at the top with Katy, who's winning right now. We'll get to that score in a second, and we don't want to gloss over something big that happened last night to Sealy's Ricky Seals-Jones. We'll circle back and catch that in a few minutes. But here's your regional top 5 in Houston. Katy, as we said, starts at number 1 after their big win over Klein last week. Manville comes in at number 2. They're also winning over North Shore right now. The Woodlands comes in at 0-1, but they lost to Skyline, which is the number 1 team in Texas, I think. So there's no shame in that. Pearland's at 1-0, comes in the 4 spot. Spring Decaney beat Strake Jesuit pretty badly last week. They come in at number 5.
Games that we're watching out for here in week 1. Katy at Alief Taylor.
Exactly. Katy, I believe, just scored to go up 7-6 in this game. And really what this is probably going to come down, or 7-3, I'm sorry, it's late in the second quarter. I think this game is really going to come down to defense on both sides because Katy's got a lot of talent in the run game. They got Adam Taylor, who's back after an injury last year. Rodney Anderson's very talented. But Alief Taylor's got a lot of good guys, especially in the secondary, especially at defensive end. To Rodney Prevost, obviously they're going to USC. So both of these teams have a lot of talent. And whenever you have 2 teams that are as talented as that, I think it really comes down to who can stop the ball and make other teams punt away. And in this case, I think it's probably Katy.
Yeah, and Katy got off to a great start last week, defeating Klein over at Reliant Stadium. Hey, Lamarck and Texas City, these 2 schools very close together. Good rivalry between the Stingarees and the Cougars.
Exactly. And again, a lot of talent on this field too. But as you said earlier, Jeff, Lamarck drops down to 3A this year. So this isn't any kind of a district game. This really doesn't have any implications besides just regional pride. Now, Lamarck showed us last week that defensively they had everything it took to be a winning team. Offensively, like Coach Mike Jackson's told me several times this offseason, work in progress. They put the ball on the ground 8 times last week. They lost 4 of them. They're going to have to do a little bit better than that if they want to beat this Texas City run game.
Yeah, of course, you see those running backs there, Deshaun Rawls and Donald Lynch, and Andrew Allen does a nice job at quarterback.
Exactly. Texas City really took a big step forward, I think, in week 0. It has been a good team, but really the talent they laid out in the field and how well they ran the ball, I think it opened a lot of eyes down there in Region 3. Everyone's going to be watching out for the Stingarees right now.
Yeah, 9.2 yards per carry. All right, Fort Bend Hightower at the Woodlands. This is a great matchup as well.
It's also an odd game right now. The Woodlands is up 2-0 over Hightower because the Hightower punt returner, get this, tackled in the end zone. You don't see that happen very often. 9 minutes left in the first quarter, and I fully expect this to be a pretty intense defensive struggle. Hightower won 21-12 last week. The Woodlands did pretty well against Skyline, but I don't know if their offense is necessarily a blow the doors off the house kind of offense. So I think both of these are going to be struggling all night to score points, and whoever can turn the ball over the most is probably going to walk away with a win.
Yeah, and of course, Skyline ended the Woodlands season last year up in Waco in the postseason. Now, Galena Park North Shore is at Manville. This is another very interesting matchup. Of course, Manville went to the state championship game last year in 4A, lost to Aledo, but that's a great-looking squad.
They really are. And how weird could this be, Jeff, if Manville comes out and does to North Shore what North Shore did last week by blowing out Clear Springs immediately, but Manville jumps all over North Shore 14-0 quickly. Kyrian Parker, the great wide receiver at Manville, has already had an impact so far. North Shore should be able to turn this around. They should get back into this game, but right now Manville's making an impressive move.
Let's check back with Fort Bend Hightower at the Woodlands and Lonnie King with more.
Tonight in the Houston area, we've got a matchup between a pair of teams that got off to starts last week that they'd like to improve upon in tonight's game. Woodlands Highlanders and the Hightower Hurricanes face off at Wood Forest Bank Stadium in Shenandoah on the north side of the Metro Houston area. Hightower comes in with a 21-12 win over Eisenhower under their belts, while the Woodlands play at home for the first time after opening with a 42-28 loss to Dallas Skyline last week up in Frisco. Highlanders head man Mark Schmidt said that it was lack of varsity experience that cost his team the game against Mighty Skyline, but also give him reason to believe that his team has room to get better.
We had a lot of first-time varsity players on the field, and against Skyline, which is a great football team, I was very encouraged. I saw those kids grow up in a hurry.
And in spite of a win in the first game for new head coach and former assistant Padraig McGinnis, Hightower's new leader says his team is still working on finding the successors to guys like Braylon Addison and Josh Wilhite.
We're still young on offense. We got to put together an offensive line. We're mixing and matching. We got some receivers we're trying to mix and match. And like you say, the quarterback with Delvez Chandler, Jeremy Anderson, and Jalen Scott. We're trying to figure it out who's going to step there.
As for tonight's contest, Schmidt is focusing his attention on a trademark of Hightower teams, their team speed. While McGinnis says his main concern about the Woodlands is the depth that they can send at opponents.
You know, they've got great speed, and we're going to have to deal with that speed. They've got a tradition. They're a solid program, and, those two things together, will be a big chore for us. But, we welcome the opportunity and the challenge, and it makes us better.
They have so much depth in which they provide seniors who know their program since 7th, 8th grade, in which they know what to do. Those kids are strong. They know the technique. They know to be in position. They're a great program.
No matter which team is victorious tonight, the winner of this one gets a quality win to add to the season's resume. For Fox Football Friday, I'm Lonnie King.
Alrighty, thanks, Lonnie. And Hightower and the Woodlands will keep you updated. And I did want to mention also Manville scored again. They lead now 21-0 over North Shore. All right, how about Klein Collins at Aldine Eisenhower? Ike at home.
A lot of good offensive talent on the field here. Klein Collins gives you a good duo of running back Trey White, quarterback Blake Jackson. They beat Cy Woods last week, whereas Eisenhower gives you, I think, one of the best running backs in the Houston area. That's running back Donald Catalon, a really good kid. Combine him with Tristan Guilford, and they had more than 220 combined rushing yards last week. Despite all that, I still think this game could end up being fairly defensive. I like Klein Collins here because I like their defense a little bit better, but make no mistake, these are probably two of the top 10 teams in the greater Houston area, regardless of class.
Yeah, and we're going to also have highlights of Klein Oak and Cy Creek a little bit later on tonight also. We've got a crew out there as well. Hey, well, coming up next, we'll be going down to the Coastal Bend. We'll talk some Corpus Christi area football when Fox Football Friday continues.
Yeah, Gregory Portland is up 7-0 right now. I can tell you that. Yeah. If you can see the game, let us know what happens. If it's in a break and they score a touchdown, come give us a quick recap, and that way we have something. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm here. All right. Was that number 24, Ben Slaughter? Okay.
And number 11 just scored for Westlake. Wow, it says Sean Rawlings, quarterback.
It's 6-6 right now. They blocked the extra point by Temple, so if they make this. No, we didn't get the first touchdown.
Hey.
It's 6-7.
Just go with that.
Okay.
Hey, Angela, find out what happened to Jordan Seifert, because it sounds like he's not in the game right now. Okay. Fox Football Friday, it's the Blitz here, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Travis Stewart and Jeff Power. We're here in Temple. Of course, Westlake taking on the Temple Wildcats, and got a good game going on right here. In fact, before we go to our Academy Sports desk break, let's check in real quick with Angela, who has a scoring update. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff. Well, right now, Temple trails 6-7. First, Galen Sanders on Temple, he had a 5-yard touchdown rush. Westlake was able to block the extra point. Then Westlake came back with a long run by Ben Slaughter, and then the touchdown by number 11, Sean Rawlings, quarterback, who came in. So again, now Temple's trailing 6-7. Back to you.
Okay, so 7-6 right now. Westlake on top, and Sean Rawlings in at quarterback. We'll double check if anything happened to Jordan Seifert.
Hey, sometimes you want a backup guy to run the ball into the end zone. Maybe Rawlings could just be the better runner.
Could be a Wildcat formation.
Yep.
All right, let's check in now with the Academy Sports Desk with Rick Renner. Rick, what do you have?
Thanks, guys. Brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. What a weekend of matchups, huh? Old-time rivalries with no care of classification. Some sad news to the greater Houston area, that is. Ricky Seals-Jones goes down with a knee injury on Thursday night. At 6'6", he's considered one of the best receivers in the state. Let's check on the Valley Boys. Head coach Elsa and TSJA North. North got it going on early on. Hakeem the Dream Fontil taking the punt here. He's got some moves. He's going to take it to the house. 52-yard punt return in the score, and the Raiders are in business. North would ice it with this. Brian Guerrero to Oscar De La Garza, and De La Garza is De La Gana. 65 yards. TSJA North wins 42-21. Elsewhere, La Jolla, Palmview, Admissions Veterans. Palmview's Lobos looking for their first win coming in, and a coming out party for quarterback Sammy Basillo. How about this to Adrian Flores, I should say. He'll break it down the sidelines, get into the end zone, and then Basilio again, this time off the beautiful toss to Super Mario Rodriguez, and Imrod takes it in. Palmview wins it 41-29. Time now to bring in the world-famous Fox Sports Southwest girls, Amy and Liddy. They're here all night to chat with you on social media, looking for all your game day photos on TV. Hey, girls.
Hey. Hey, Rick. Here you go. I'm Liddy. Here tonight, Friday night. I'm good with banner. You can add photos, and also you can tweet us at FSSW_girls. Send us fun facts about the game, and we really want to see your photos, so make sure to get on that site and upload them. Oh my gosh, we've got so many great ones. Probably this adorable Allen cheerleader. I think she was everybody's favorite. She was a pretty popular hit. Yeah. Well, we got a lot of photos coming in, so we'll definitely share those with you guys next.
So what do they have to do again? They just have to go to foxsportssouthwest.com, and that's how they get in touch with you guys?
It's pretty self-explanatory. Once you just click on the banner, it'll pull up the Football Friday website, and it gives you directions on how to sign up with Twitter or Facebook or whatever way they want to sign up, email. So for community of high school football, yeah. You can look at everybody else's photos from other schools and games. It's a really neat little thing.
Looking forward to it. So just click on that UIL logo at foxsportssouthwest.com. Girls, always fun to work with you. Let's send it back out to Temple, Texas. Sorry, Travis. We got Jeff Power, and I get to hang out with Tammy and Liddy. Tough world, isn't it?
Hey, Rick, we'll make do. All right, the Coastal Bend is loaded with some great football. In fact, let's kind of look at our regional top 5, beginning with Cal Allen.
No surprise there to anyone. Cal Allen returned pretty much everyone from last year. Had a big win last week. That puts them to 1-0 on the year. Port Lavaca Calhoun looked great in beating Corpus Christi Carroll last week. Gregory Portland off to a great start, and off to a great start tonight, too. We'll talk about that in a minute. Flower Bluff off to a 1-0 start, and Beeville Jones off to a 1-0 start. So in the Coastal Bend, if you don't start well, you're not going to be in the top 5 for long. It's too deep of an area, Jeff.
The games we're looking at tonight, Flower Bluff at Corpus Christi Carroll. Now, this is an interesting matchup. These two teams kind of right down there on SPID, and it's a great matchup. And these two teams, always a good battle early on.
Well, Flower Bluff made a good run last week in beating Corpus Christi King, which is a team that was kind of on the board of the regional top 5. Flower Bluff scored 16 unanswered in the fourth to win it, whereas Carroll, on the other hand, only 52 total yards of offense last week. So tough start for them. I think Tony Trevino will put them on the right track, but for now, I like Flower Bluff here.
How about Weslaco East at Cal Allen?
Well, Cal Allen's had a really good run of success against Valley teams over the past couple years, and when you look at how well they played last week, 5 rushers with a touchdown was Cal Allen last week. But I think it's going to be very tough for them or for Weslaco East to come out and try and knock off Cal Allen.
Hey, Gregory Portland scored pretty early here against Alice. The Coyotes trailing now 7-0 to the Wildcats.
And it's a short run by Devin Busby that punches it into the end zone. I tell you what, if you're looking for a star for the Coastal Bend, a guy who maybe be the best recruit out of everyone out there, it could be Devin Busby, who is just a lightning bolt in the running game.
How about Corpus Christi Moody at Corpus Christi King? Nice little rivalry right inside the Windy City.
Well, we talked about Corpus Christi King earlier, how they had a rough start last week against Flower Bluff, but I think Moody, I don't know if they're necessarily had a great start to the season either. They had a hard time stopping the run last week, which really means quarterback Bronze Jackson for Corpus Christi King is going to be the guy. I think that could end up being the impact player tonight.
Okay, so Cuero, we kind of talk about them playing Victoria East tonight on the road, and it's a good matchup for them. And Cuero, we're waiting for them to kind of get back to where they were a few years back.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's actually Victoria West tonight, but West struggled last week. But Cuero, they actually came out and got a win last week against Wharton, which was a good step in the right direction for them because look at what happened to them over the past couple years. 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, they were money in the bank. That's 9 or 10, 11, 12, 13 wins every year. And then last year they bottomed out bad. 3-7, 3-3 in district. That was their first district loss in years. You can see at least 4 years here by the graphic. So coming out, getting a win over Wharton last week, a touchdown pass with 2 seconds left, a 30-yard touchdown pass with 2 seconds left to win it. It's a huge boost to, I think, to the Gobblers' confidence. See them take a step in the right direction.
So Cuero, I remember back in the days, I saw them play Sealy in the state championship game down in Waco a few years back in the 90s. But some good stuff there. Let's check in with Angela. A lot of scoring going on behind us. Let's check in real quick with her. Angela?
That's right, Jeff. Temple now leads 13-7 thanks to a 5-yard touchdown pass from Zach Allen to Keith Bull. It was a great play. They made the extra point. They're leading 13-7. Back to you guys.
All right, as you see here is a great play here for Temple as they busted down inside the 5-yard line, and they would score on the next play here. Temple up right now 13-7, so a lot of offense in the early going. Dig the pants, blue going one way, white going the other.
Zach Allen on the touchdown pass there to put Temple up ahead, and a great little play action to Galen Sanders. Got an easy rollout to the flat.
Hey, we got some highlights in already from the greater Houston area. We talked about Cypress Creek taking on Klein Oak. Now, Klein Oak was favored in this game, but it's Cypress Creek who was jumping on the board early. Cole Barbie would hit Kyle Huff for a touchdown. It's 10-0 right now. Cypress Creek is leading this one over Klein Oak, and our good Robert Lake down there sending us some highlights, and Cy Creek looking pretty good in the early going.
Well, Klein Oak survived a shootout last week with Langham Creek. They beat them like 63-56, so a low-scoring slugfest may not be their cup of tea right now for them.
Okay, we'll get to those highlights in a minute. Fox Football Friday continues from here in Temple in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. This is The Blitz, where we show you highlights and updates of games throughout the state of Texas. We talk a little football with you, and we got a great one right here as Temple and Westlake doing battle, and it's 13-7 right now. The Wildcats leading the Chaps.
And I think we just saw a fumble recovered by Temple, so the momentum suddenly shifting. Westlake looked like they had it all at the beginning. All of a sudden, Temple scores a touchdown. Westlake drops a long pass, and then there's a fumble.
Yeah, and both these two teams, in fact, kind of battling back and forth. They had big wins last week. Here's the fumble we were talking about. And it's always that second hit, isn't it? You got to really secure that ball because you never know if someone else is going to clock you. A lot of times those defenders will just kind of stand you up and wait for a little help, and that's exactly what happened right there. Got some help and took the ball right out of his hands.
Well, we were saying that Westlake was the defense that had to show up, and I tell you what, Temple so far has done a pretty good job against this Chaps offense.
Yeah, Coach Spradlin doing a nice job here with Temple. Be interesting to see, how things go this season for him. I think a lot of people are expecting some big things from the Wildcats. All right, we got some big games, some Wendy's score updates.
Now, let's go ahead and take a look around the state at some of the biggest games that are going on right now and some of those score updates. Right now, Lockhart's up on top of, these are actually, Lockhart Crockett, I think, was last night. I think they actually polished them off, but we said earlier, Cy Creek over Klein Oak was 10-0. Pearland out to a good start over Kipner, 7-0. It's actually a pretty good rivalry, Jeff. Skyline's up big in Arlington Martin in the first quarter right now, 14-0. I tell you what, Skyline looks like a buzzsaw. I'm not sure anyone can beat them right now.
Yeah, Graham leading Brownwood 14-0. Westlake over Donna early on 14-0.
Wow.
Georgetown leading Round Rock McNeil 14-0. And Andrews over Austin Reagan 21-0.
That Westlake Donna score stuns me because I picked Donna. I think a lot of people picked Donna. But as I said from the beginning, the emotion in that Rio Grande Valley rivalry game could swing things one direction or the other pretty easily.
Yeah, that is a good rivalry down there in South Texas. In fact, this is a chance for us to tell you next week we will be in McAllen. We got a great game down there with Nicky Rowe and McAllen. So we look forward to going down to the Valley next Friday.
Exactly. And McAllen Rowe did something pretty incredible last night. We'll talk about that when we get down to the Valley, but just keep in mind that Rowe did something pretty impressive last night.
Any other, big games that you're looking for right now that just kind of stand out tonight that, marquee matchups, games that, the rest of the state's really kind of keying on?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Abilene played a big game against Hebron last week and won 13-10. Well, they actually doubled down, went for another Metroplex team this week, and that was Duncanville. And Abilene's out to a quick start, 6-0 over Duncanville. Also, Chapel Hill is taking on White House, which is a pretty big matchup. They're up 7-3 right now out in East Texas. We talked about Manville and North Shore.
Right.
Manville up 21-0 over North Shore right now.
Cedar Hill, Allen, huge matchup in the North Texas area.
I know. I'm still waiting for a breakdown for that one. Also, Coppell at McKinney-Boyd. Our Greg Tepper is there. That one's still tied at 0.
Cool. All right, let's check in with Angela down on the sidelines now, who has some more updates. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff. Well, Westlake is going with an interesting offense tonight. They're switching between two quarterbacks. They're going with Jordan Sievert. He started, and then we talked about Sean Rawlings, who rushed for that touchdown. He's been coming into the game as well and looking like a really good rushing quarterback. We'll see if they keep that up for the rest of the game. Back to you.
Hey, Angela, give us your thoughts about the game so far. It looks like it's been pretty much an offensive shootout. I don't know if we were really expecting that. Give me your thoughts so far, what you've seen.
Yeah, Jeff, you're right. It has been an offensive shootout. Westlake has really been putting the pressure on with their defense, but Temple has been able to overcome that. Westlake fumbled the ball, Temple got it back, and they're driving. It's been a big offensive shootout, like you say.
Now, Angela, you know what the craziest thing about this job here at the desk is that everything's behind me, so I can't really figure out what's going on. I just hear everyone yelling, but it sounds like the Temple crowd is really into it, just like we thought they would. What's the energy level like on that whole big side of the stadium?
Travis, the energy level is insane. The crowd is so loud, and actually on the visitor side where we've been standing, the Temple band is over there. They are loud, they are excited, they are supporting their team tonight. You can hear them cheering the entire time. Every time Temple runs a play, the crowd's going wild. When they fumbled the ball, the crowd just went nuts. It's a big atmosphere out here, and so it's going to be hard for Westlake to overcome that.
Okay, so Temple is leading it right now 13-7, and that will surprise a lot of folks out there. But Westlake's got a lot of firepower, and of course Jordan Sievert at quarterback. We'll see what happens there. He's relatively new to this, but hey, I'm sure he can get it done. 6'4", 6'5".
That's right. We promised you guys Klein Oak and Cy Creek highlights. Let's go ahead and run those now. Remember, Cy Creek up 10-0 over Oak so far in the evening. I tell you what, you and I were both impressed by Cy Creek jumping out to that early start because, as you said, Oak was the favorite team after they won so big last week over Langham Creek.
Yeah, I think so. And here is Cypress Creek right here. Talked about this play. Cole Barbie to Kyle Huff. It was 10-0. Cypress Creek leading over Klein Oak. And gotta love the name Cole Barbie. I'm thinking, put another coal on the Barbie, right?
That sounds like something from Dumb and Dumber, but it was actually a really nice throw. And you saw the flag come out. It looked like defensive pass interference. I think I saw that on Twitter as well, that Barbie made the catch there, even despite getting dragged down. By the way, that brings me to a point. If you've got news or scores out there, make sure you send them to here at the desk. At DCTF is the handle, and hashtag Football Friday is another place to get them to us. That way they'll pop up on the Twitter bar that you see on the side of the screen. We've had a lot of good interaction from fans tonight, sending in scores from Salina, from Crockett, all over the place. We want to see those, so make sure we can pump them out to the screen for you.
Yeah, and you might see the scores on the bottom of the ticker there as well. A lot of those games at their finals are from last night. And remember, those Houston area games started a little bit earlier than the rest of the state at 7 a.m. and El Paso a little bit later. So a lot to get to tonight. And Fox Football Friday is going to continue. We go to Northeast Texas here in just a moment. We're here in Temple, and action going on behind us again as Westlake taking on Temple. I can tell you that, another touchdown by Temple. Surprising, 19-7 right now. Well, let's take a quick break. We'll talk about that highlight and much more when Fox Football Friday continues.
Football Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today.
Jeff turned up in my ear. I can barely hear him. But these knobs, all they do is control me, it sounds like. There you go. I got you. You're good.
Jeff Power, can you hear me? Good.
I got it. Okay, better. Thank you. Man, this is a surprise. 20-7.
Yeah, getting off to a good start.
Why am I not getting any emails?
I don't know. I mean, I can't get any signal either. I'm dying. I'm trying, but I can't get jack.
Hey, can someone ask Scotty if he got an email from we should have a couple of highlights that just came in, but I don't personally have them. Northeast Texas.
We told them about 8:20 for that, like it says on the script, so I can try to get Clay to go ahead and get them. I can talk about the touchdown in this segment if you want me to. What?
And welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. This is The Blitz. I'm Jeff Power alongside Travis Stewart, Angela Heyman on the sideline here. And we've got a great game going on behind us here. The Temple Wildcats up big right now on Westlake, 20-7. Bit of a shocker.
I'm pretty surprised by it. I mean, not that Temple's necessarily winning, but that they're playing so well. As you said, just got into the end zone again, little fade route to the corner. Let's check in with Angela Hammond on the sidelines. Tell us a little more how that play happened.
Thanks, guys. Well, Temple scored on a 10-yard touchdown pass from Zach Allen to sophomore. That's right, sophomore Chad President. They've already had 2 scoring passes. Their offense is looking awesome. That was a great play, great drive. They really they were able to capitalize off of that fumble.
Look at the play right there by Chad President. Love the name. Number 7 in your heart, number 1 out there on the field, or no, other way around.
You got to give some big props to Zach Allen, the quarterback right now. Both of those guys were open, but against Westlake, what he's done is he's waited for open opportunities. What most people do against Westlake is they just force it wherever they can find it, and they just try and squish it all together, and you end up turning the ball over and you lose. But so far, Temple's done a great job of playing within themselves, a good, controlled offensive game plan, plus recovering a fumble on defense will help you too.
And they talked about it in the pregame show about how balanced they've been on offense, rushing the football last week, doing a nice job through the air as well. The quarterback leading both passing and rushing stats. So I tell you, it's been pretty impressive so far with Temple. Let's move over to Northeast Texas, regional top 5. Let's begin with Sulphur Springs, the top team out of the Northeast area.
Yeah, we kind of define Northeast as roughly Greenville, which is kind of northeast of Dallas, all the way up to Texarkana. It's a big region, doesn't get talked about a lot, but we wanted to bring it into the fold this year here. Sulphur Springs starts off at number 1, Texas High, which beat its biggest rival, Arkansas High, last week. They come in at number 2. Atlanta lost last week, but it was to Gilmer. That's a pretty good team, so we'll leave them at the number 3 spot. Mount Pleasant's the big shocker. They're already out into the 4 spot after a big win, and Paris comes in at number 5.
Atlanta leading over Dangerfield early on, 7-0 in the first quarter.
Well, there's that Atlanta team we just talked about, and if there's one thing that Atlanta knows how to do, it's run the ball, Jeff. And running back Corian Webster is a big guy in that offense for them to do exactly that. And even though they lost to Gilmer last week, I think they actually played halfway decent if they can just settle on a quarterback. They rotated a bunch of them. We'll talk about here in just a second, because really both Dangerfield and Atlanta got off to rough starts last week, with Gladewater beating Dangerfield. And the odd thing about it, Jeff, was that Dangerfield gave up 391 yards rushing, and they turned the ball over 4 times. Both very atypical for a Dangerfield team. And as we said, Atlanta losing to Gilmer had to use 3 quarterbacks during that game before they finally settled on one. But Atlanta obviously showing that that was a good team they lost to, not necessarily a bad performance by them.
Okay, so interesting matchups there in Dangerfield and Atlanta. How about Mount Pleasant at Liberty Ilu?
Well, I'm really excited about this game because Mount Pleasant's been a team, and I think it's been swept under the rug for a long time because, I mean, realistically, they haven't delivered. But they had a big win last week against Paris. They beat them by 30. We're actually going to take a look inside that matchup here in just a second. But Liberty Ilu's a dangerous team, Jeff. They only allowed 122 yards in their win last week. They only gave up 1 second-half first down. That's incredible numbers. But we need to look a little more at this Mount Pleasant win over Paris last week because it really was remarkable. They beat them 57-27. Jeff, they led by 50 points before Paris found the scoreboard. It was 50-0 at one point, which blew everyone away. That's Mount Pleasant's largest victory since 2003. And really, Jeff, they've only had 1 win over a team that finished the season with a winning record since 2006. Listen, I mean, that's an unbelievable stat. And Paris will almost assuredly finish above 500, so they'll break that auspicious streak this year. They've only had 2 playoff berths in the last decade, but with the way they played last week, got a great chance of playing in the postseason this year.
Another interesting matchup, Pittsburgh at Gladewater.
Well, there's that Gladewater team we just talked about, right? They ran the ball really well against Dangerfield last week. They beat up on him. And I was really surprised by how well they played that defense. But Pittsburgh is another story. Their defense forced 4 turnovers last week, and their running back, Derek Allen, was super sharp, 131 yards and 3 touchdowns in the ground game. I think Pittsburgh is as tough a team as you're going to find right now in 3A.
And Pittsburgh leading right now 22-8 in the second quarter. All right, Tatum is at Winsboro tonight, and Tatum, one of the powerhouses in East Texas, and they're trailing right now 14-0 in the second quarter.
Well, you have my rapt attention right now because I don't think anyone was expecting that one. But Winsboro, they showed a lot of signs of talent last week. They had 362 total yards, right? Well, 352 of them came on the ground. So they ran the ball very well, and they shut out a pretty good Gilmer Harmony team. So they showed what they're all about. Now it's up to Tatum quarterback Darian Brooks. He made his debut last week, 123 rushing, 193 passing. He's got a lot of ability. Now he's going to have to show it coming back against this good Winsboro team.
Texas High, located up in Texarkana, hosting Huntington out of Louisiana. Interesting game there. A lot of the Texas teams up in that part of the state will play the teams from Arkansas, Louisiana, even Oklahoma.
All right, folks, you want a moment of pure honesty? I don't know diddly about the teams from Louisiana and Oklahoma and Arkansas. That's not my strength. But I can tell you that Texas High is a pretty good football team. A lot of good talent on both sides of the ball. They played great defensively against Arkansas High last week. If they bring that kind of intensity and that level of ability to the field again tonight, they'll beat this Huntington team, and they'll be 2-0 so far to start the season.
All right, good stuff right there. Well, behind us here, it's Westlake has just scored. Let's check in with Angela right now and get another scoring update. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff. Well, Westlake just scored on a 10-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Box from quarterback Jordan Sievert. Obviously, Sievert going with the passing plays. They've got the other quarterback in to go for the rush. Right now, I am joined with this week's Academy team behind the team. This is the Temple High School student athlete trainers. We're talking to Bella right now. Bella, your principals and your school nominated you guys this week to be the academy team behind the team. That's your nickname, the team behind the team. You guys do so much for the players, getting them prepared for the games, obviously hydrating them, taping them before the games. What's it like to be nominated for that?
It's good to get recognition. We don't always get, the most recognition because we're not actually playing the sport, but we really enjoy what we do. So just to get a little pat on the back always makes us feel good. We love being out here, and it's just an honor.
Well, congratulations, ladies, and the rest of your training team, and keep up the good work.
No problem. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, Angela, good stuff right there. And a lot of scoring in the game going on here now, 20-14, back and forth. And that's kind of what we like, let offense.
Well, I guarantee it's what Temple likes, but I promise you Darren Allman's going to take this defense into the locker room at halftime, sit them down and say, now you listen to me. You guys got to play some better football if you want to beat a team like Temple. But right now, Temple's playing like a team that feels like they've got a great fan base behind them, that they've got a TV show here at their stadium, that they know they've got a chance to be 2-0 for the first time in almost a decade.
All right, so this whole region, Northeast Texas, one of the best regions in the state. In a moment, we're going to get to the Panhandle and talk a little bit about the football up in that part of the state. But it's been an interesting night. In week 2, a lot of teams will talk about this. The coaches say it a lot. Players get much better. The teams get better, if you will, even the coaching staffs, from that 0 week to week 1. And I think we're already kind of starting to see that. You find out what your team's really got.
Well, sure. I mean, I think that's like a lot of things. Even just with our show, the first time we did this last year, we were pretty confused on what was going on. 4 hours, all these things coming in. The next week, things were a lot better. And I think in a lot of ways, that's just like football. All these stimuli coming in from different direction. You're not sure which freshmen or sophomores or juniors are really ready and which aren't. But I tell you what, so far Temple, they've made the best adjustments I've seen from week 0 to week 1 in quite a while.
All right, Led, let's get a quick recap of this game, though, in case you're just joining us here. Of course, it's been an offensive shootout here in the early going between Temple and Westlake, and it was Temple that got on the board early on, but Westlake would bounce back. The touchdown here by Westlake, that was the quarterback number 11, Sean Rawlings. But back comes Temple again, right up the gut. Look at this play. Nice ball movement right through the middle by Galen Sanders, and he's really the running game, if you think about it, when it comes to Temple. But to the air they go, and look at the catch right there by Chad President. Nice job. Back and forth we go right now, 20-14. Temple is leading.
And if you saw in that play, that last touchdown was actually well designed because the corner actually kind of bid on a shorter route, and that opened up that guy in the back corner for the touchdown. I think that's really what Mike Spradlin brings to the game. I mean, when he was at Abilene Cooper, he bred a really good quarterback in Clayton Nicholas, who ended up signing with Texas Tech. Now he's got another kid who he took over as a junior who's going to be going to Syracuse. So in some ways, Mike Spradlin, kind of like Art Briles at Baylor, if you're a quarterback and he comes calling, that's a guy you want to play for.
Oh, did we tell you it's the first quarter still?
Oh, wow. I didn't even process that. Time doesn't have any meaning at this desk anymore. You lose track of it. But 20-14 in the first quarter.
Yeah, 20 seconds left in the first quarter, but I mean back and forth, so plenty of highlights to get to. Hey, we got some highlights coming in from Houston, the Woodlands Hightower game. Let's take a look at this right now as the Greater Houston area games, of course, starting at 7 o'clock. And when you go out to the Greater Houston area, you do get those highlights usually first as we about to show you those highlights here.
Well, we know that the Woodlands actually started off well, a 2-0 lead, and this is how it happened. The Hightower player on the ball was had a punt, then he got tackled in the end zone for a safety. Had to put the Woodlands up 2-0, and with the way both of these defenses play, look, second quarter still 2-0. Heck, that could be ball game with the way both these defenses have been playing over the past couple seasons. But you heard Mark Schmidt in the preview package earlier for this game, the Woodlands head coach, say they felt like they lost last week to Skyline as a victim of inexperience. Well, now they've got a week under their belts. They can come out, play a good game against Hightower, and walk away with a win.
Yeah, they've got a strong fan base and a great team, a lot of good numbers over there. That's a great game. We'll definitely be checking back in on that one just a little bit later. Hey, DFW, we've got some big highlights coming. How about this? Drum roll, Cedar Hill, Allen. We talked about how big this game was. Well, looky here. We've got some early highlights. These two teams with impressive wins last week, and look at Allen getting on the board right here.
Shotgun snap, looking him back, and he's got a man in the back corner, and that's a touchdown wide open against Cedar Hill. Now, I know a lot of people were split on which way they were going to pick this game. I was actually leaning towards Cedar Hill because we know how explosive their offense is, but heck, I tell you what, Allen played such good defense against South Lake Carroll last week, beat them 24-0, that you got to think that defense has a really good chance to knock off Cedar Hill tonight. And if they do, I mean, Allen would have beaten South Lake and Cedar Hill, two top 10 5A teams. Forget DFW, top 10 teams maybe in the state. shoot, they could end up being the top overall team.
You want another play from that game?
Double me up. Let's do it.
Let's do another highlight from this game. In fact, look at this. Allen with the ball again. Now, we mentioned that Cedar Hill beat Denton Geyer last week, the #1 team in 4A. Well, look at this. Allen taking it to him here in the early going. 14. Check that score. I think it's now 14-zip. There we go.
And you know what was interesting about those two plays, Jeff, was we saw two different quarterbacks. And that's exactly what we saw last week with Allen. They had Oliver Pearson, who was a converted wide receiver, ran the ball a lot, ran it pretty well, too. Then they brought in Kyler Murray in the second half, and he played great, too. So Allen, a team that we thought maybe inexperienced at the skill spots, not sure it was all going to fit together. Heck, now they got good quarterbacks. That's just Allen for you. That's just Allen for you.
Hey, maybe the new stadium's rubbing off on them.
Well, what really makes Allen special is that they've got such a big program, such a big school. Their depth is just off the charts. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. Good program. All right, Fox Football Friday will continue from here in Temple. Good game here. Good games all over the state. We'll be right back with more. You know, YouSendIt.com works great. I'm not so sure about SendShot. I don't get their stuff sometimes.
Yeah, this cord keeps yanking it off my head, and every time I clip it, it comes out. Let me try and reset it for you.
Scotty, we just got some more highlights from Robert Lake. That would be Houston area, Side Creek. Oh, Westlake just tied it up.
Touchdown catch, Westlake, number 5 on the reception. That is
Brandon Box.
Brandon Box. He's
Again?
the top wideout.
That's his second. Okay.
How's that sound, Truck? Sound a little better for you? Thank you. You mean we're a segment behind, like we're going to have to cut one at the end?
No, under, like
we got extra time.
Yeah.
That's odd.
It's our new Reeboks.
I'm wearing a tutu under these pants.
Nice.
We're not live, are we?
All right, welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football. This is the Blitz, highlights, scores, and more right here. And we've got some more scoring update to get to real quickly. Westlake back on the board. Let's check in with Angela, who's got the update.
Thanks, guys. Westlake just took the lead 21-20 on an 18-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Box. That's his second touchdown reception of the evening. Westlake's offense is looking great. You see the highlight to Brandon Box, the 18-yard touchdown reception. Westlake leads 21-20.
I think Angela's going to put in a request for overtime pay with the amount of time we're having to go down there for score highlights. That request is denied. That request is denied.
Part of the program.
Yeah.
21-20, Westlake leading right here. And let's go ahead and take an Academy Sports break and check in with Rick Renner, who's got more in the DFW area. What's going on there, Rick?
Thank you, guys. Get this. We had a record in the Bill Ford Tough Player of the Week nominations this week. A lot of them have been kept up, too. And we haven't seen even the first awards on the show yet. All you have to do is go to playeroftheweek.com and nominate your favorite player for performances on and off the field. And then a panel of experts from all over the state will pick the winners and will announce them on the Bill Ford Tough Player of the Week show Saturday morning at 8:30. Randy Rogers joins us on that. Let's check out some other Thursday night action. Great one between Plainview and basketball power Paulo Duro. Pick it up early on 3-0. And it's Daniel Miller to Charleston. A White, unbelievable return here. Look at him. Just fighting off the tacklers. Get off me. You know, that's just a kid that's got a passion for 6. He'll take it to the end zone. Then Antoine Turner with the short TD run. That made it 17-0. It's all Paulo Duro. They win at 34-8. Elsewhere, a good one between Alamo Heights and Clark. When Heights has the ball, Kalen Brockwell knows what to do with it. He gets in 7-0 after that one. Then Clark on the 10-7 lead at the break. Cole Bailey had 2 touchdown catches in the third quarter alone, and Alamo Heights jumps out to the 21-10 lead. They win it 28-10. Time now to class up the place with our resident supermodels. I'm talking about Kami and Liddy. You can check them out at FoxSportsSouthwest.com. The Fox Sports Southwest girls. What's going on in the Twitter and the social media world tonight?
Confidence booster working with you. I mean, really.
Trying to help you.
Yeah.
If you're just now joining us, go to FoxSportsSouthwest.com, find the banner for our new Football Friday site, get signed up, and start sending us your pictures.
We're about to show you our first photo of the night. This is from Bob Kendall. It's a picture of the pregame warm-up from the Rowlett-Rockwall game. And currently, Rockwall's leading 14-9. Pregame is always so exciting. That was actually one of my favorite parts of high school football games. Just the hype and the music and the fans. It's so much fun.
And the weather.
The balls, yeah. Hot chocolate. That was my favorite part.
Okay, our second photo is
great. They're silent, right?
This is from Jason Nance from the Willis High School. Actually got just a highlight as updated for us.
I like their outfits. Those are
Kind of reminds me when Kami was cheerleading at Flower Mound Markets, those pictures. You know, Liddy, you went to Prestonwood.
I did.
What were your parents like, you know, and still are?
Oh, geez. Well, actually, Rick, my dad busted out my sports buttons the other night. He has about 50 of them from high school with every sport. And so, yeah, they were proud parents. Still are.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing, always.
I'm sure
Stage one.
We love you, Mom and Dad.
We do love you. Thank you for
Well, you can check out the Fox Sports Southwest girls, of course, on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Send in those photos. Follow them on Facebook. They are definitely a hit. Back now to go to Temple and the big game, the start of a tradition-rich battle between Austin Westlake and Temple. Funny how the Wildcats weren't born yet for the last Temple state title, and Jeff Power, I think, was Cypress back then in the early 90s.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. Yeah, we've got a great game here. It's been back and forth. Westlake leading at 21-20. They've just started the second quarter. We do have some more highlights coming in from the Houston area again. Cypress Creek and Klein Oak. This is a game that we talked about early on. We didn't know going in that maybe Cypress Creek will be taking it to Klein Oak, but they are so far. This is Cole Barbie with the touchdown pass here to Kyle Huff. Cypress Creek was up 10-0. Klein Oak trying to get back into this game, but it's been one of those games where Cypress Creek saying, hey, pump fake, we got you. Look at this.
Wow, nice catch.
Back of the end zone. That is Cypress Creek leading right now at halftime, as you can see Klein Oak getting the touchdown right here, but it is Cypress Creek on top. Are you surprised?
Yeah, I'm surprised by the margin, I think, but if you saw that play a second ago, Cypress Creek's second touchdown, every time you see a pump fake like that, that means there was a double move, and that means that the passing game is in full flux, if you can see that. Now, Klein Oak obviously gets back on the board with a couple late plays to make it respectable, 17-7 at halftime, and sometimes when you squeak in that score right before the break, that totally changes the perspective or the complexion of the locker room at halftime. Kids just feel a lot more confident with what they see, knowing that they put some points up on the board right at the end.
Yeah, that was a great job with the footwork right there. All right, let's move on down to the Panhandle. One of the top teams down there, the Sandys of Amarillo. There's not too many teams named the Sandys, I bet, across the country, but there's a lot of sand blowing around up there in Amarillo.
There's not a whole lot of them. This is actually DFW. We'll start up in Dallas-Fort Worth. Okay, here's your Panhandle. Amarillo starts at number 1. They dropped down to 4A. They looked very impressive dispatching Odessa last week. Wolfforth Friendship comes in the second spot. They're actually playing Permian right now and leading them. Canyon Randall's at number 3. Amarillo Caprock, a team that's really charged to the forefront over the past couple years. They're number 4. And then Little 3A Lubbock Estacada with running back Robert Johnson and a new friend. We'll talk about that in a second. They come in at number 5.
Wolfforth Friendship at Odessa Permian. Look at this early on. Odessa Permian trailing right now 7-0. And remember, they lost last week to a team out in El Paso.
I can actually give you an update on this one. It is now 10-0. Wolfforth Friendship just scored just at the start of the second quarter. So 10-0 Wolfforth Friendship over Odessa Permian. And I really think that Friendship has a good opportunity this week because they beat Riverside last week, but offensively they didn't look all that sharp. They were a little sluggish, and their running back, Demadrick Tucker, had a good game, but not a whole lot else around him. If they come out and really thump Permian this week, I think it's a clear indication that Friendship is back amongst the Panhandle elite instead of just being a pretty good team, Jeff.
Yeah, and last week Odessa Permian lost to Montwood. Now, Amarillo Amarillo at Amarillo-Tascosa. This is a pretty good little rivalry and the Golden Standard, if you will.
The Golden Sandies with the Golden Standard. I get it. It's very clever. And really, I think that Amarillo is probably your runaway favorite here without any disrespect to Tascosa. But Amarillo's got such a good run offense right now with Cole Sanchez and Gabe Rodriguez, running back and quarterback combination. Jeff, they were so good last week, they never even punted. And you can see some of the numbers from last week. Cole Sanchez, 113 yards rushing. Gabriel Rodriguez, 135 passing. They led 21-0 after the first quarter against Odessa. They only ended up giving up 228 total yards. So it's going to be very tough for Tascosa, who realistically didn't play the run very well last week. It's a bad matchup at the bad time, I think, for Tascosa.
All right, how about Lubbock Coronado at Lubbock High? And of course, Lubbock High, this is a team that's battling a good squad at Lubbock Coronado. A lot of games tonight between like rivals, as you talked about. Get a chance, if it's not in your district, you get a chance to play them maybe now early on. George Watson is with us now via Skype, and let's check in with George and get an update on this game. George?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good. How are you, George?
Well, I'd like to say it's a defensive battle out here, but that would be an injustice to defenses. It's really more of a battle of punters out here. Those have kind of been the stars of the game. Neither offense has been able to do anything. And we just hit the halftime button. It's 0-0 out here at Lowry Field between Lubbock and Coronado. So it's a deal where both defenses have been okay, but it's been turnovers and things like that have really stopped both teams.
Tell me a little bit about what the Panhandle area looks like right now with Monterey dropping and Coronado staying. There was so much flux and realignment. What did that do to the Panhandle in general with all those teams moving and some of those old rivalries being broken up?
Yeah, it's a weird deal. I mean, you had the Coronado-Monterey rivalry last week, and it was weird playing that on week one. You got some other rivalries that are trying to stay in trying to keep them playing, but they just don't mean as much now. So, yeah, I think it just kind of. I think we'll have to wait till the end of the year to kind of figure all that out, to figure out exactly what those rivalries are going to look like from here on out. And who knows, with the way realignment goes, it could change in 2 years. So, I think we just kind of wait and see how that goes.
All right, George, sounds good. We'll check back with you when we get maybe a field goal or something. How about that?
Sounds good, guys. I'll let you know.
All right, George, good job. George Watson Skyping in. That's Coronado and Lubbock all tied up at 0 at halftime. Hey, sometimes, you can have highlights without anyone scoring.
Sure, and you know what? I think a lot of those Lubbock teams are still searching for identities. Monterey knows they want to run, but Coronado and Lubbock both had coaching changes recently, still trying to figure out exactly what they are.
Sure. How about Randall and Hereford, another big game out in the Panhandle, and an interesting matchup, I think. Hereford and Randall, kind of longtime rivals, but a chance to square off, and of course, non-district action, chance to show each other what you've got.
Well, I think it's a big chance for Hereford, especially because last week their offense was kind of inconsistent. Quarterback Ray Martinez was okay, but for the most part, I don't think their offense played as well as they hoped. Randall's week 0 was just zany. Here you go. I'm going to walk you through it, so you may want to tick these off on your fingers here. So Randall gets up 26-3, right? Well, all of a sudden, Plainview charges back, and Plainview takes a 27-26 lead. And then Randall wins 55-27. So it's obvious they had the talent. They got up big, maybe got a little sluggish. Plainview charged back, and once Randall got serious again, they put it away. Randall will not have the opportunity to fool around with Hereford. They're going to need to put him away early if they want to win.
Stratford hosting Canadian. Canadian up right now 12-0 in the first.
Who scores 12 points? That's a very odd number, but this is another big rivalry, and this one up in the small schools in the Panhandle. Both of these teams have either played for or have won state titles in the past. So you know that these two coaches, these two players, all these groups of players, they know each other very well. And I think if Canadian's going to win, they need a big game out of quarterback Ben Arbuckle. 7 touchdowns passing last week.
Hey, maybe the wind is blowing out there. Got a front moving through. All right, title favorites. Give me your thoughts. Lubbock Estacado, Class 3A?
Well, last year was weird because there wasn't a small school champion in the Panhandle area, which is very uncommon. And I think if you're looking for teams that may be able to break that short streak, these are your guys right here. Lubbock Estacado in Class 3A, probably the top of the mix with running back Robert Johnson, who found another guy to help him last week in quarterback Jalen Tennyson, who's just a sophomore. They may have a great future ahead of them. Bushland, they played in a state title game recently. They lost to Dangerfield, but they're talented this year. Littlefield's in the mix, and then obviously the two teams we just saw, Canadian Stratford. Canadian moves up to 2A Division II, but still talented enough to win a title, and then Stratford obviously at 1A Division I. All these teams have a shot at winning a state title this year.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Hey, one more time, how about some more updates with some highlights? The Woodlands, I believe. We got some highlights. Now, the Woodlands, of course, their game out there in the greater Houston area is starting at 7, so we get their highlights in a little bit earlier. But this is a matchup that we looked out for with Hightower, of course. And here's the quick play for you. The Woodlands on defense here. Ball comes out, picked up, touchdown, just
killer.
like that. Wow.
So if you're a Hightower and you're sitting on the sidelines, you're saying to yourself, okay, we're down 16-7. The Woodlands got a safety for 2 points on a bad punt return, and now they've got a touchdown on a fumble. And I really think, even if Hightower goes on to lose this game, I really think they're still going to be okay. Because remember, Jeff, they lost Braylon Addison and Joshua Wilhite and all these great kids from a state finalist team last year. It's going to take some time to adjust to the new kids.
I think we should send that highlight to George Watson up there in Lubbock.
Just to give him something, right?
Show him that defense can score too. Hey, Fox Football Friday continues. We'll talk about the DFW area and highlights rolling in from Lake Travis as well. It's all when Fox Football Friday continues.
Left.
Man, I am stumbling all over myself tonight. I need to shape up.
Yeah, I just got Lake Travis from Brent Nordling.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. I would love to bring that in.
I don't even know what the deal is with that game. Do we know?
Yeah, Lake Travis is up.
Okay. Okay. That's Baker Mayfield.
Temple principal here with me for the Wendy's check presentation. Do you want me to ask him a question to take up some time? Or He's here. Okay, so no questions. Okay.
I got the plays here. It's Baker Mayfield scoring, and then he throws one to Preston Dupree. Okay, with Temple. Okay.
Well, the Metroplex is always really busy. Do you just want to do segment 8, the whole big country and everything right now, and then push the Metroplex back? Let's just do that. Let's do segment 8 right now.
Okay. All right, so we're going to do big country first. So we got to do Wendy's. Oh, this is the check presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to Fox Football Friday. The Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. We got a great game here, 21-20. Westlake leading Temple. We're here at Wildcat Stadium. In fact, let's go ahead and check in with Angela real quick and get an update from down on the field and more. Angela?
Thank you, Jeff. Well, I'm taking a breath between all the scoring drives, and I am here with Temple High School principal Bob James. We're here for the Wendy's check presentation. As we know, Wendy's believes a real key to success is good education. Like Temple High School, Wendy's believes that success starts on the field and in the classroom, so I'm happy to present this check on behalf of Wendy's for $500 to Temple High School. Congratulations.
A lot to us that Wendy's is investing in our Wildcats here. There's a lot of places that y'all on Texas Friday night.
Well, we're having a lot of fun. It's a great game tonight.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, and thanks to Wendy's for that as well. The Wendy's keys to the game, of course, in this one, and it's been back and forth. What you expected?
Well, not really. So, I mean, as you can tell by the keys to the game, the first one was defense, defense, defense. Well, it seems like the end zones are twice as big as they normally are. No one can miss getting a touchdown right now, and I think that does not play to Westlake's favor. As we said earlier, if the game was low scoring, I liked Westlake. If it was high scoring, I liked Temple. Patience under center, that is one thing that's definitely panned out, and that has absolutely been Zach Allen, the quarterback from Temple, who's been icy so far. Found a lot of good open receivers, good routes, taking his time and taking what the defense gave to him. Temple's ground game, I mean, they had the short touchdown runs, but for the most part, it hasn't appeared to be a major factor. Looks like it's been more Zach Allen's arm, but hey, you dance with who brung you. If that's working, then you keep going with that. And home crowd heroes, I tell you what, Angela said it, and she's right. This Temple home crowd, they're pumping energy into this stadium like it's coming out of a hose. I mean, they are really into this game, and it shows, I think, in the product.
All right, let's kind of update this game right here going on behind us. We've got a blocked punt. We've seen quite a few blocked punts tonight, but look at this one right here.
Whoa.
Westlake blocking the punt, falling on it, and that is a touchdown. So Westlake up right now 28-20. So we've had scoring of all kinds tonight. We have defense, offense, safeties, blocked punts. Someone send us a field goal.
But it is still early. It is still
We'll
early.
get a
So a
field goal.
block punt like that, sometimes special teams is the last thing you work out. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if we maybe see another couple hiccups throughout the evening. But really by week 2 or week 3, you kind of start seeing things iron and smooth out a little bit.
Yeah, Temple owned the first quarter. Westlake pretty much owning the second quarter.
That's
up
true.
right now, 28-20. All right, let's move over to the big country right now. We'll get to the DFW area in just a few minutes. But Abilene, probably the top team out there.
Yeah, it's tough to argue that. Abilene Cooper comes in right behind him after Cooper beat Wichita Falls Rider in a thrilling finish last week. San Angelo Central is probably your third team. They lost a heartbreaker to El Paso Franklin last week, but they've got a great matchup tonight against a team from California. First time they've ever played a team from California. Stephenville, which took the bad loss to Monterrey Prepa Tech, the team from Mexico last week, they're in at number 4. And Brownwood, who's getting beat up by Graham, they're in the 5th spot. But if Graham keeps playing like that, Graham's going to be in the 5th spot.
Hey, speaking of Aledo at Stephenville, look at this. Aledo up right now, 21-7. David Davis is on the phone with us. Why don't you kind of update us on what's happening? Looks like Aledo's playing quite well.
Actually, you guys have the score backwards. It's 21-7. Stephenville up
wow.
with 7 seconds to go in the second quarter. Stephenville is.
Looks like we may have lost David there, but Stephenville up over Aledo I think shows a lot because it does not make sense to lose to Prepa Tech last week and then come right back and get out to a 21-7 lead over Aledo, who just beat Highland Park last week. I think that shows that this Stephenville team was capable of bigger things last week. They didn't get it done, but now all those talented skill players are coming out and playing a much better ball game.
Yeah, that is an interesting matchup. We'll get back with David Davis in a little bit, but Stephenville looking good, up 21-7. In fact, let's take a look at this Aledo-Stephenville matchup in the last 5 years, huh?
Yeah, Jeff, these two see each other more than you and I do at this rate. I mean, 2011, Aledo and Stephenville saw each other in the playoffs. 33-0. It was a driving rainstorm, I remember, because I was doing sideline reports. That game was miserable. 2011, earlier in the season, was actually the time that Stephenville beat Aledo, 48-47, in an epic, thrilling shootout. 2010, again, it was playoffs and regular season. Aledo got them both. And then in 2009, Aledo beat Stephenville as well. So it seems like no matter where these two teams go, no matter Stephenville's in 4A or 3A, what have you, they still end up meeting at the crossroads again.
Alrighty, so another interesting matchup tonight. Stanford at Monday. These are two teams that are ranked number 2 and 3 respectively in the lower classification. It's Monday. The Moguls leading right now 20-14 in the second quarter.
Well, they also share an unfortunate membership in a fraternity no one wants to be in, and that's losers of state title games the year before. Stanford lost to Mason, and Monday obviously lost to Tenaha. Now, we've got David Davis back, who was at the Stephenville-Aledo game, and he piqued our interest with fixing our score for us. So one more time, David, how did we get to 21-7 at halftime?
Yeah, 21-7 at halftime. Stephenville's on top right now, and Stephenville's controlling the offensive tempo of the game. Their offensive line looks like a completely different unit from the one that played last week. And the quarterback for Stephenville, Tyler Jones, has rushed for more yardage than all of Aledo's rushing game so far. A couple of turnovers, but the turnovers so far have not resulted in points. They were exchanged turnovers. Stephenville turns the ball over, and then Aledo turned the ball over on that next possession. But the Jackets from Stephenville are playing like this is the rivalry game that everybody knew it would be. Aledo and Stephenville go way back, and tonight is just another edition of a great Texas high school football rivalry.
So tell me, David, you were there obviously at the loss at Prepa Tech last week. Was that end up just being a pretty good team, or was it maybe a leadership or focus issue that Stephenville has now rectified for this game?
I'm sorry, guys, I can't hear you all very well there at the studio. But Stephenville's playing the kind of ball game that they are capable of playing that you didn't see last week. But Aledo's not played poorly. I just think, again, the difference in the game is Stephenville was controlling the offensive tempo by having their guys in the trenches on the O-line do a great job.
All right, good stuff. David Davis, we'll check back with you a little bit later on tonight. Thank you very much. And again, Stephenville leading 21-7 at halftime. Big bounce-back game for them.
Well, I'm a little surprised, I have to admit. It's not that I didn't think Stephenville had a chance of winning, but Alito's offense, I thought, actually played halfway decent last week in the absence of Matt Bishop, Jonathan Gray, and all their traditional stars they've had, and quarterback Pate Davis had a great start. But Stephenville showing exactly why they were the top-ranked team in 3A, why everyone thought they could have been a top-flight team in 4A. They're just really good, just maybe didn't play that well last week.
How about Duncanville Abilene? This is a game I've been kind of keeping an eye on. Of course, Jeff Dykes, the head coach over at Duncanville, expecting big things this year from his team. Abilene, though, leading it right now 16-0 in the third quarter.
Man, this is tough right now for Duncanville because they lost 20-2 last week to Colleyville Heritage, which means essentially over the past 6 quarters they've scored 2 points. And for a Jeff Dykes team, that's not a good sign. I'm beginning to wonder if this is just not the right crop and they just need to change things up and get a whole new fresh start right now with Dykes' approach to the program.
All right, St. Angelo Central leading 27-0 over Scotts Valley out of California. That game in the second quarter. Other scores to report, Abilene Cooper and Cedar Park all knotted up at 14 in the second quarter over at Gupton Stadium in the Cedar Park area.
Not terribly shocked by this because Cooper seems allergic to blowouts. They love close games, and Cedar Park, their defense is so good, not surprised they've got Cooper's offense under wraps.
Yeah, and of course, Spradlin was the head coach over at Cooper in the past, and so we'll get the tie-ins here. And we know Westlake likes to play the Cooper squad as well. All right, Fox Football Friday will continue in just a few minutes. Temple trailing Westlake right now, 28-20. We'll be back with more in just a few minutes. Much better tonight with our photographers. Everyone's gotten us highlights already. Just trying to figure what's up with Martin. He's had trouble getting me stuff for some reason. Welcome back to Fox Football Friday. We're here in Temple where Westlake has had a huge second quarter. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart joining it from right here just outside of the field. And actually someone's on the field for us, Angela Heyman. She's got a scoring update for us. Let's check in with Angela.
Thanks, Jeff. Westlake is leading now 35-20 thanks to another block punt by number 2, Derek Cohen. It was a great play. He recovered the block punt in the end zone for the score. They capped with the extra point. Like I said, they're leading 35-20 now.
Wow, that's huge. I mean, special teams, it is extremely important, and you see it a lot in the early portion of the games.
Exactly. And like we said, you know, in a pump block like that, Westlake's defense all of a sudden has a chance to come roaring back into this game now that they got a lead.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's go to the DFW Metroplex. A lot of teams to talk about, but hey, this is Travis Stewart's #1 team in the state, Dallas Skyline.
Well, and Arlington Martin's giving everything they can handle right now. Skyline was up 14-0 early, but Arlington Martin's charged back into that one. We'll give you an update in a moment. Allen right now leading Cedar Hill at the half. They look like the #1 team in Texas right now.
That's my #1.
DeSoto 1-0 right now. They're third overall in DFW, I think. South Lake Carroll given the benefit of the doubt after the loss last week to Allen. Cedar Hill in the 5th spot, but if they lose to Allen tonight, they could fall out of it.
So Allen and Cedar Hill, look at that, 14-zip Allen. Here is Allen again on the move. Nice job faking the handoff, going to the back part of the end zone for the touchdown. We looked at this earlier, and, you know, Cedar Hill coming off their big win over Denton Geyer. Allen coming off the huge win over, of course, South Lake Carroll. And this is a marquee matchup, and it's Allen right now taking it to the Longhorns.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually 21-7 at halftime now, Allen. And what's really the most remarkable thing about this Allen team is we're going to take a look at their second touchdown right here. It's this great defense that they got. You know, we put so much emphasis on the skill kids, I think, in high school football. Oh, do they have a great running back? Oh, they have a great quarterback. If you've got a really good front seven, you can beat a lot of really good football teams. I think that's what Allen's doing. As we said, 21-7 at the half is what we're at right now, actually. And it's the Cedar Hill offense that just hasn't been able to get anything going.
Yeah, so a bit of a surprise right there, but definitely two of the top teams in the state of Texas. All right, Arlington Martin at Dallas Skyline.
Like I said, Martin's actually made this one a little bit closer. They believe it's 21-7 now. And Skyline's run defense looking a little shaky. Kyle Hicks, the great running back for Martin, actually just snapped off a long run to get him a little closer in this game. And this looks like it'll be Skyline's first really stiff test of the season.
Yeah, so 27-14 Skyline leading that one, and overwhelming talent to say the least on that Skyline squad.
Well, on both teams, really. Martin's got Kyle Hicks, who's one of the top 2 running backs in Texas. And then look at this top 4 for Skyline. Devontae Kincaid, their quarterback, is a top 2 guy. Rashad Samples, wide receiver, a top 5 guy. Skyline offensive lineman Carrick Huggins, a top 10 guy. Skyline linebacker Isaiah Williams is a top Carrick Huggins defensive lineman. Skyline linebacker Isaiah Williams is a top 10 guy. I mean, what other teams can really claim that? What other team can really claim that much collegiate talent on one roster? It's ridiculous.
I tell you what, it's amazing. South Lake Carroll came back and beat them last year in the postseason. All right, McKinney Boyd at Coppell. Interesting matchup as well. The DFW, so many great football teams up there. Coppell, one of them as well.
Well, I was really excited about this Coppell matchup this week because what they did to Longview last week, a 4-1-8 thrashing, had everyone up in arms. Everyone was freaking out. Was Longview bad? Is Coppell really good? Is the answer somewhere in between? So Coppell drawing McKinney Boyd, which has a great running back in Brian Driscoll, was really going to give Coppell an opportunity to step up and prove what that result really was. So far, really low scoring in the first half, not a lot of action there, which means really one of two things. It's a tough start for Longview, or McKinney Boyd's defense is really good. Maybe Greg Tepper, who's on site at the game, can tell us. Tep, tell me a little bit about what you've seen. So give us a score update, and then tell us a little bit of what you've seen so far in this matchup.
So we're looking at halftime, and it is 7-0 Coppell leading, and basically within this sport of 2 great defenses dominating. Coppell's defensive ends, William Uday and Solomon Thomas, they were the real deal. And when you give Joe McBride weapons like that off the edge, they're going to do some damage. But McKinney Boyd has done a great job, too, on defense, as the score would indicate. Their defensive line, Tyler Bergman and Kyle Simons, have really impressed me. The lone score of the first half came in the final 2 minutes. Quarterback Colby Mahon swung it out wide to a really dynamic wide receiver, Logan Thomas, who skittered and scampered for 30 yards and a touchdown. The interesting thing about McKinney Boyd, Brian Driscoll has not gotten a ton of direct carries. They've still not wide, using a lot of the decoy. I think he's taking balls out of the backfield. He's really only had one big run, 29 yards. But other than that, Coppell's done a good job modeling him up.
Now, Tep had to have been a coach in another life. So, Tep, if you're McKinney Boyd, what are you telling your kids at halftime here? What's your MO heading into the final 2 quarters?
Well, I think you're telling them heavily favored in, and you're in this game at halftime. All you got to do is string together a couple plays offensively, and they've had a little bit of success with quarterback Curtis Lag, always put it on the wide receivers, but just to find some holes, and it's not going to come in that run game, I don't think, because right now that Coppell defensive line is the real deal.
All right, Tep, thanks for joining us, bud. Enjoy that game. And, we'll make sure we'll check in with you with Roger Emmerich tonight on the Statewide Radio Show, Scoreboard Show. Good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, so Coppell leading McKinney Boyd by a whisker at halftime, and it looks like the 2 defenses locked up in a big struggle.
Yeah, and defensive-minded to say the least, and here's a graphic to prove it.
Well, I mean, Joey McBride, the head coach at Coppell, knows defense like the back of my hand. I mean, he's just unbelievable on the defensive side of the ball, and this is against, remember, a top 25 Longview team. They allowed 216 total yards, 78 passing yards. They forced 3 turnovers. They 6 forced punts. It seems like no matter what Longview did, Coppell had the answer. If they play defense that well the entire season, they'll be at the same level they were when they lost to Euless Trinity and when Euless Trinity went to the title game in 2010. They're going to be that good again.
I'm still shaking my head at that 41-8 score.
How did that happen?
We'll find out.
I guess that's what the season brings to you.
Yes,
huh?
Arlington Bowie at Mesquite. Mesquite leading right now 13-6.
Okay, from one oddity to another. This is a Bowie team that obviously couldn't even couldn't even get a defensive stop against Mansfield, but they found the end zone plenty of times. But this week, it's a totally different story against Mesquite. And I'm telling you right now, if you're a DFW football fan, it's time to keep your eye on Mesquite because this team is really good and kind of flying underneath the radar. But quarterbacks Alex Cooper, who threw for 4 touchdowns last week, he's special when they beat Lake Highlands. And I think this Mesquite team has really a good chance to go all the way into a regional final, which I think would turn a lot of heads.
Plano is at Irving MacArthur. A bit of a surprise here. MacArthur leading 14-10.
You know, I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but kind of a surprise this game's being featured at all because Irving MacArthur has not been on top of their game as of late, and Plano to some extent has been and also ran, but both of them 1-0 after the first weeks. Both of them looked pretty good last week. Now they go into this team with a chance to be 2-0, or obviously 1-1, and really make a statement at the beginning of the season. I tell you what, the guy to watch for, maybe MacArthur running back Sebastian Taylor, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns rushing last week. If he does something similar against Plano tonight, bang, he's going to be on everyone's radar for the rest of the year. That's all it takes is 2 big games.
We just had another touchdown right here.
Did we?
Yeah,
I didn't
Temple
even
scored
notice.
again. Back and forth we go. Let's check in with Angela and find out what just happened.
Thanks. Well, we have yet another scoring play. It was a 10-yard touchdown pass to Eric Arizmendi. It was a great play. They have not been able to kick the extra point yet. They're in a timeout right now, but another touchdown pass, another scoring play. Westlake's leading it 35-26.
All right, Angela, appreciate that. 35-26. Who would have thought this?
No, not me. Shows what we know about football.
Defensive struggle.
You know what I loved right there about Zach Allen was he made that play happen because he's mobile.
Yeah.
And what's so frustrating for a defense is you bottle up this guy, you got a guy in the running back, and when the quarterback can run around and buy time or use his legs, it just screws up everything. So Zach Allen rolling out, it's the same way he's rolled out before for a touchdown pass. Kid looks really good right now.
Starting to look like Tony Romo out there, huh?
No, don't say that. He's going to start putting his hat on backwards. We can't have that.
Maybe he's got a good golf game. Who knows? All right, so DFW area, I tell you, it looks impressive. We'll get back here in a bit later with the DFW area. Permian Basin on the way. Fox Football Friday continuing from Temple. Westlake leading by a touchdown over the Wildcats of Temple. They did make the extra point.
$49-0 at halftime. Southlake Carroll over Midland. Oh, sorry.
35-28 Westlake. Welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. It's the Blitz. I'm Jeff Power alongside Travis Stewart and Angela Heyman down on the sideline. She's been very busy tonight because we've had a lot of touchdowns scored in this game. And we are here in Temple, but the Wildcats trying to battle back into this one, trailing Westlake right now 35-28. I tell you, the first quarter belonged to Temple, second quarter belonged to Westlake. Here is the 2-point conversion right here for Temple as they pick up the 2 points on the corner. Nice job right there It is now 35-28, and Westlake on top.
And still almost 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Almost everyone else in the state's at halftime. And this game's still in the second quarter because no one feels like making a stop, or at least besides blocking punts if you're Westlake. Besides that.
Well, they know we're going to be here till 11, so they want to hang with us. All right, let's head back over to the Academy Sports Desk and check in with Rick Renner. Rick?
Thanks, guys. What a weekend in the DF Dub. We had the Red River rivalry last night between Denton Guyer and Colleyville Heritage. Texas found Hurd against OU commit Thomas, and Cody Thomas threw for 7 Watson touchdowns, sending Denton Guyer to 0-2. Let's bring in Corbett Smith of Sports Day 8S. You'll see it shortly here on Fox Sports Southwest. Corbett, you wrote an article today about how some big-name teams were in the face of 0-2 starts. Surprising.
You know, 2 of my guys have tried to send stuff from SimShack, not working. Everything that comes through with YouSendIt.com, no problem. I don't know what the hang-up is. I'm telling them all, hey, do YouSendIt. I've got some more Lake Travis highlights. We can talk about the fact that, you know, Westlake's had the last 2 touchdowns was, special teams.
All right, fans, gather again. Fans, gather again. Talk is on commitment. Let's talk.
All righty, thank you, Rick. We do appreciate that. Here, Temple right now trailing Westlake 35-28, but you know it's really not so much because of their defense. There's been some bad special teams plays on the Temple side that's kind of cost them, but you know the Temple defense has been pretty good.
It actually hasn't. You're right. It hasn't been that bad. They've had 2 blocked punts that have led to touchdowns now, but you see the Temple defense there making plays, wrapping up a guy in the backfield. It actually seemed like they just turned the ball over a second ago, but it sounded like the refs overruled it. Fans didn't like it. Another run trying to find the corner, but the Temple defense just swarming. You see, he got hit probably 3 or 4 times before everyone finally was gang piled on top of him. He couldn't go anywhere from there. Still 35-28. Got a minute left at the half right now, and Westlake looks like they were driving it out. Looks like Temple may be about to take this ball over.
Okay, let's head over to the Permian Basin and talk a little bit about the football going on up there, beginning with Midland Lee and Midland.
Well, those are probably the top 2 teams in the basin. Permian and Odessa, who both lost last week, they come in at spots 3 and 4. And then Midland Christian, which had a great win over Monahans last week, they slot in at number 5, but they have a big game against Big Spring tonight.
And they're trailing right now 7-0 at halftime to Big Spring.
Oh, Spaghetti-O, gonna have to play better than that. Midland Lee winning right now, just at the start of the third quarter, 21-17. Interesting matchup, Jeff, because Bell's gonna run the ball pretty much all night long. And Lee knows that. So if they can get a good defensive performance, slow down the run game, make those Blue Raiders throw the football a little bit, they got a heck of a lot more than a fighting chance. I bet you Jason McAfee, the running back from Midland Lee, has had a good game tonight so far.
Yeah, so Midland Lee, I believe that game's over at Pennington Field. Nice little matchup right there. Midland at South Lake Carroll.
Oh my. Woo! Hello. I think that's probably the worst possible time to catch South Lake Carroll after they go get shut out at Allen. I bet you they came out fighting mad. And Midland, I mean, this is a team that's had its fair share of troubles against DFW teams as of late. That's because these DFW teams are really good. They played Martin last year and lost 37-7. They lost to Coppell in 2010, 49-7. That's when Coppell was ridiculously good. They had played Arlington Bowie earlier in that year in the playoffs and beat them 39-35. But then Rockwall and Bowie again had beaten them in 2009 before that. So that's part of what's been such a big problem, I think, for Permian Basin 5A, 4A teams is their by-district draws and their second-round draws in the playoffs. They're just brutal. I mean, they're really good DFW teams that almost no one's going to beat those teams. Tough draw for the Midland teams.
I bet it was a tough week with South Lake Carroll's Hal Wasson at practice.
I'm glad I was not wearing green and white this week. Let me just phrase it that way.
All right, how about some other matchups tonight? Odessa at Lubbock Monterey. Right now, Odessa High leading at 31-19 in the third quarter.
And that's an impressive bounce back for Odessa. It really is, because they got their head handed to them last week against Amarillo. It was a really good Amarillo team, but you know, kids don't always care. They just want to win. They don't like losing. So Odessa came out, played a good first half against Lubbock Monterey. And this is a bad position for Monterey to be in because they like to run the ball a lot. So being behind 12 in the second half, it's going to make your life pretty difficult.
Idalou at Seminole. Right now, Idalou leading this one 14-10. They've just moved into the third quarter.
Man, that's an interesting draw right there, because Seminole got a great game at a quarterback, Jacob Birch, last week. 215 yards, 3 touchdowns passing, added another score on the ground. But Idalou is showing why they're still one of the best defensive teams on the Panhandle. If you can slow a guy down like Jacob Birch, you're going to be a really, really good football team, and I guess that's what Idalou's showing right now.
Midland Christian at Big Spring, and it is Big Spring leading at 7-0 as they move into the third quarter. And surprised here, I think Big Spring looks pretty good all of a sudden this year.
Well, Big Spring must be fielding like 7 different brick walls for defenders, because slowing down Christian Wiggum, the running back from Midland Christian, is about as tough a thing as you can do out in West Texas right now. So if they found a way to derail him and keep the Midland Christian offense on the sideline, kudos. That is every bit the team, Big Spring team we saw last week beat Fort Stockton so badly.
Yeah, of course, Tobin Tannehill getting the start for Big Spring, and his brother playing for the Miami Dolphins. What's up with the Tannehill family? They've been very successful at quarterback.
Hey, man, when you've got good genes, you've got good genes. Tannehill's older brother was a good college player as well. I think he moved to tight end eventually. A lot of talent there, too.
Yeah, and it was a good spot, for Texas A&M to move him over to quarterback, if you think about it. All right, it's halftime here, and let's check in with Angela. It's 35-28 right now. Westlake is leading Temple as Angela tries to track down the coach. But this has definitely been an offensive shootout. There has been some big plays on special teams as well. And as we've seen, I wouldn't say that both teams have played horrible on defense. It's just there's just been a lot of big plays.
Well, the question is, what do you tell your teams at halftime if you're these two coaches? If you're Mike Spradlin, you tell your kids, well, shucks, you played pretty well, 2 bad special teams plays, and we're in front right now. So don't have to change a whole lot. We want to do a little better defensively. We want to watch out for Jordan Sievert running the ball. But other than that, you guys did pretty good. If you're Darren Allman, you're Westlake, you say, hey, special teams have kept this in us. Our defense has absolutely got to play better. We've got to find a way to slow down Zach Allen on the rollouts. We've got to find a way to slow down the passing game.
Yeah, no question about it, but it has been very entertaining. We like offense.
Yeah, we didn't get any last week. I mean, the amount of points we've had, and compared to what we had last week, Abilene Wiley at Argyle, that's pretty impressive what these two teams have put on compared to what we had last week, I think.
Yeah, so 35-28, Westlake leading, and, on the road on top of that, that's pretty tough as well. I think let's check in with Angela real quick and see what we've got as she tries to catch up with one of the coaches, literally.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm here with Westlake coach Darren Allman. Coach, you're leading at halftime. Special teams played a big part in that first half. Tell me about that.
Yeah, they did. They got us back in the game, and defense kind of settled down a little bit. But we knew coming out that we weren't going to win all the plays tonight. So they're a good football team. It's going to be a good second half, too, I think.
Are you surprised at all by the way your offense played, putting up that many points on the board?
Well, no, I'm not surprised. We didn't play very well last week, and so we had a pretty good week of practice and made some improvement, and that's good to see. We've got to bow up a little bit on defense, and we'll be okay. But no, the offense has made a big improvement in a short time.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck in the second half. That was the Fred Loy Insurance quote of the night. Back to you.
All right, very good, Angela. Appreciate that. 35-28. Westlake is leading, and as Darren Allman said, he feels like his offense is playing much better than they did last week against Cedar Park, and that's a game they won, by the way, 21-7. And I got to tell you, Cedar Park's got a great defense, so that may have been more impressive than he thought.
And in a shocking upset, Darren Allman says that he needs his defense to bow up a little bit in the second half. I think we all expected that would be the case. And if they do, it's going to be a pretty tough game for Temple to get back into and eventually take over and win. But I still think this Temple offense has more than a fighting chance to come out and win this one.
You know they do. You know they do. All right, East Texas when we come back. Fox Football Friday from here in Temple. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
Football Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today.
This would be Midway, Waco Midway. He said he sent like 4 touchdowns, but I haven't received anything, but he says he's sending them now to Scott. Okay, so everyone, Chris Hardy just sent him.
A&M Consolidated.
A&M Consolidated. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Let's take them right off the top.
That's my roster. Come on, wind. Work with me here. It's that darn tuba blowing air on me.
Jeff, how do y'all look for scores in East Texas right now? Okay. Are you good on East Texas scores? You got them? Prestonwood is up 29-6 over Gilmer at halftime. Okay, you got all those? That's all the ones we need. We're good.
Let me try to get it.
I have it. Hang tight.
You know, A&M Consolidated plays Westlake next week. We need to get that game, too.
I'm working on it.
And welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It is the Blitz. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart, Dave Campbell, Texas Football Magazine, along for the ride with us here. A great sponsor. We do appreciate that. And we've got another score to update for you. A&M Consolidated on the road at Waco Midway. You like to call them Hewitt Midway.
Because it is Hewitt Midway.
It is Hewitt Midway.
I don't want people storming this set.
It goes both ways. But here we go. Quick touchdown here. This looks like A&M Consolidated on the move. Play towards the back of the end zone. Look at the ups right there for the TD. That's huge. You know, A&M Consolidated plays Westlake next week. I tell you, Westlake plays a tough non-district schedule, don't they?
They sure do.
But here's A&M Consolidated again. The nice move into the end zone. They've got some good size, too.
Exactly, 17-14. It's Midway right now leading, even though we saw those 2 consolidated touchdowns. And I think that tells you a lot about what this consolidated team looks like. Remember, they used to be kind of a running team. And when David Raffield came in and took over the program, all of a sudden the offense really blossomed. Their new quarterback, Cheshire, had a great start to the year. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But so far, Midway's done a great job.
Let's go and check in a little radio on this game and see what we've got. Let's get a little update on this from WTAW.
Wide receivers to either side for Kramer Robertson. Pretty good in the first half overall with 10 of 14 off of his arm. Goes with split back.
So A&M Consolidated trailing Hewitt Midway 17-14. Of course, Midway in the state championship game last year lost to Lake Travis, but they look pretty tough again this year. And, of course, we talked about this. Westlake will play A&M Consolidated next week. All right, let's go to East Texas now. John Tyler on top, and for good reason. They've got themselves a great team again, as usual. But Longview coming in at number 2. That might be the biggest surprise after that score from last week.
Well, I can give you a surprise, and that's going to have to do with John Tyler right now. Hang on your saddle for that when we get to score updates in a minute. Longview, as you said, they lost to Coppell, but we give them the benefit of the doubt. It's the first week of the season. White House comes in at 1-0. Jacksonville with the surprising win over Carthage at 1-0. Tyler Lee, they actually 0-1. They lost to Sulphur Springs last week in overtime, but they're having a great game so far against Lufkin. They have a great chance to be 1-1 before the night's over, Jeff.
Okay, well, John Tyler at Lancaster. Look at that. Lancaster up 19-7 right now. You weren't kidding.
I wasn't lying to you. Now, Greg Ward, the quarterback for John Tyler, started off like money in the bank. 6-6, had a touchdown early, but Lancaster's really roared back into this game, and we've actually got a guy there. That's E.J. Holland, who does he does pretty much everything in DFW. And I don't even know what to address him as. But, EJ, how did we get to 19-7 Lancaster over high-powered John Tyler?
Lancaster's just doing a great job shutting down Greg Ward and giving him all kinds of trouble. DeMarcus Ayers on the offensive side of the ball is really making John Tyler, defensive players miss left and right. He has 2 touchdowns as Lancaster leads 19-7 early in the third.
Now, EJ, tell me a little bit about John Tyler. We know they've got such great offense, talented wide receivers, a great quarterback. Are they just out of sync? Is it just a bad night, or did Lancaster come in with a really good game plan?
Lancaster just came in with a great game plan because, like I said, they're shutting down Greg Ward, who had almost 5,000 yards of total offense last year. Today, he has less than 100 yards passing and only has less than 20 yards rushing. So they're really containing him. Lancaster has a great game plan. DeMarcus Ayers usually plays all around the field, is picking at quarterback and is just running down John Tyler's throws. They came in with fire, and they're ready to play, and they're playing, and they have that 19-7 lead.
All righty, EJ, we do appreciate it. Keep up the good work. I understand that we've got radio on that game as well, and we said we get another quick update live. Let's listen in.
And another no flag as Coach Rickland Holmes is going to call timeout, regroup the troops here. It'll be 1st and 10 Lancaster when we come back in 30 seconds on Newstalk 600 KTBB and KTBB.com.
We got a scoring update anyway.
Timing in life is everything, right?
All right, let's go. This quick strike, Tyler. You know, the offense you talked about, it hadn't been there tonight, but normally it is.
But it was there last week, obviously, when they beat Lufkin. They had an 80-yard touchdown pass, an 81-yard touchdown pass, a 58-yard pass, a 38-yard pass, and a 30-yard touchdown run. That concludes their scoring.
I have an idea. Take away the long bomb threat.
Yeah, exactly. This player safety's 40 yards deep, right? It should be that simple. No, but I mean, they haven't had any of that so far this week. Again, that was all 5 of their touchdowns last week. It hadn't been there so far.
All right, White House at Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill trailing right now 17-7.
Well, you know what? The story for Chapel Hill after their state title last year is they graduated pretty much everything. And not only did they graduate pretty much everything, they also lost their offensive coordinator, took a head coaching job somewhere else. That's a lot of turnover in 1 year, and you can't really expect to just put a Band-Aid over heavy losses like that and things are going to be fine against tough teams like Lindale and White House and all these groups early on. Not surprised to see White House up early, and I know wide receiver Dylan Cantrell, who's a top-flight recruit, has already made one sick, nasty catch for White House tonight.
It never ends, huh?
Yeah, it never does, really, with White House. I mean, their offense, it just seems like it's growing on trees, really, in the backyard, especially at the quarterbacks. 2012, their new kid's going to be Patrick Mahomes, who had a great week last week. But before that, it was Hunter Taylor from 2009 to 2011, had more than 9,000 career passing yards. Then you go to 2006, 2008, it was Brady Attaway, who had more than 8,000 career passing yards. What kind of team can claim from 08 to 011 that they've got 2 kids that combined for 17,000 passing yards? That's completely ridiculous. But Randy McFarland, the head coach at White House, knows how to pick them. He knows how to breed them, and that's always been a tough team to beat offensively.
All right, Lindale at Carthage. Carthage bouncing back in a big way, up 31-14 right now.
Well, kind of like how we sympathize with Midland for having to take on South Lake Carroll after they got shut out by Allen. Well, no one wanted to see Carthage this week after they lost to Jacksonville in the opener. Lindale kind of becomes the sacrificial goat. Not that they can't win, but everyone knew that Carthage was a really, really good football team. I mean, they could be super competitive in Class 4A. So to catch them on hopping mad as they are, that's a tough run. You know Carthage is going to be a tough team to beat.
How about Gilmer at Plano Prestonwood?
Oh, my.
Look at that.
What is going on? Plano Prestonwood hammered Henderson last week. Now they're coming out, and they're the scourge of East Texas right now. Now they're throwing Gilmer down the well. This is really, really good Plano Prestonwood team. And kind of like we said last week, if you're not used to private schools being pretty good football programs in Texas, you might as well go ahead and get used to it because they've got some really good players, and that's going to be a team to be feared for some time.
All right, Van at Hallsville. Hallsville up right now 17-0 in the third.
That's a little surprising. Not that Hallsville's not good, but that Van has a really good offense with quarterback Garrett Smallwood. I thought they were going to be a pretty tough team to beat, but Hallsville's a 4A, Van's a 3A. Sometimes that could end up being a major factor. I expect Van will put some points on the board for the night's over, but it looks like Hallsville may have this one in hand.
Okay. Hey, we've got some highlights rolling in here in just a few minutes. We'll take a look at Lake Travis taking on New Braunfels Canyon when we look at that greater San Antonio area. Fox Football Friday continues from Temple, where the Wildcats trail the Shaps of Westlake by 7.
Yeah, just run the San Antonio interstitial, then do the highlights because Canyon's a San Antonio team.
Yeah. I mean, we have New Braunfels in this segment. See?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, please.
Perfect. Now I'm confused. We're starting with the top 5, then Lake
highlights,
Travis?
then top 5.
Okay, highlights. Welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It's the Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart, Angela Heyman alongside here at Temple's Wildcat Stadium, where the Wildcats do trail the Shaps 35-28 of Westlake. More highlights rolling in as we move into the San Antonio area. But first, let's get to Lake Travis taking on New Braunfels Canyon. San Antonio area definitely loaded with talent. But I tell you what, new digs down there with the stadium at Lake Travis ISD Stadium. And, of course, the new artificial surface, new scoreboard. Baker Mayfield getting it done. Look at this. A rushing touchdown. He's also got a couple of touchdowns through the air. In fact, he would have had 3 touchdowns through the air, but I heard Marshawn Nixon fumble the ball going into the end zone.
Oh, no.
They've had a couple of block punts. I mean, it's been pretty impressive all the way around for Lake Travis. They're getting it done wearing those red uniforms with the black pants. Of course, you know, Canyon, that's a team that plays on an all-red field, so this isn't anything unusual for them. But I tell you, Lake Travis, they look like they are just picking up where they left off these last 5 state championships.
I mean, I'm just not surprised. I think a lot of people are, and granted, it's only been a game and a half. Well, can we say 2 games? It's only been 2 games, but things can change, obviously, in a hurry. But this Lake Travis team shows all the same characteristics of the ones that won a couple titles the last few years.
Okay, Converse, or let's talk first about that regional top 5. Cibolo Steel.
Real quick. Yeah, Cibolo Steel's obviously your top team. They're playing Converse Judson tonight, and they're locked up in a dogfight in that one. Smithson Valley comes in at number 2. I like San Antonio Reagan at 3. Madison lost to Steel last week, but Steel's obviously your top team here, so I'll give them benefit of the doubt. They're at 4. And then Converse Judson lost to Lake Travis. They come in at number 5.
And the games we're watching, Converse Judson at Cibolo Steel, as you'd mentioned.
Like I said, it's total dogfight right now, and we knew Judson was going to play better after what happened with Lake Travis last week, but Cibolo Steel running back Justin Stockton, if he wasn't a star already, he's going to be by the end of the year because he's already got like 130 rushing yards tonight after such a big game last week. Let's check in with Lauren Chan now from the San Antonio Express News, the best there is in the business down there. Lauren, 21-21 in the third quarter, I guess. How did we get to this point? All right, Lauren, sorry, it looks like we're just now grabbing you. 21-21 the third quarter. What have you seen so far from this game? It sounds like we may have lost Lauren. We'll try and circle back and catch him a little bit later. But like we said, Jeff, 21-21, and Judson showing a lot more fight, a lot more balance, especially defensively, than they did last week against Lake Travis.
Hey, Seguin is at New Braunfels, and an interesting matchup there. Of course, the Unicorns playing at home against the Matadors. And, this is a game that we kind of looked at early on in the season here. Kind of a good test for both teams, see where they are.
Well, yeah, and it's also a major rivalry down the San Antonio area, the Guadalupe Bowl between New Braunfels and Seguin. We'll try and get a score on that one in just a minute, but definitely a big game down the San Antonio area.
Yeah, 14-7 right now. New Braunfels leading it in the third quarter. In fact, it's been a back-and-forth affair, I would say, between New Braunfels and Seguin.
Yeah, we'll run through this graphic real quick. In 2007 to 2011, it's been all New Braunfels. Seguin was on a 3-year run before that, 2004 to 2006. But here's your big one. New Braunfels won every game from 81 to 2002. That's how much of a hammerlock they had on it. The fun exchange, if New Braunfels wins, Seguin brings over a plate of pecans, because that's the name of their city, the Big Pecan. If Seguin wins, New Braunfels brings over a plate of sausage to the mayor as a tribute to German heritage. That's a fun rivalry, right?
Can we get some sausage and pecans
over here? Me? We can barely get water out of here. Come on.
Oh, hey, no. We had a great spread here before we got started. All right, San Antonio Churchill at San Antonio Warren. Interesting matchup as well.
Well, Churchill beat Clark last night in the Gucci Bowl, and quarterback Nate Pearson, probably their top player there. But Warren answers back with their own pretty good quarterback in Ryan Larson. And as you can see, Larson looks like they've had the better of him so far, 27-7 in the third quarter. Warren keeps playing like this, they'll be just as good as they were with Rex Dawson, their former quarterback.
Hey, I understand that Lauren Chan is now with us with the Converse Judson Cibolo Steel game. Let's get a quick update, Lauren. What do you have?
Yeah, it's 21-21 in the third quarter right now. I think it's shocking a lot of people. Judson was coming off a 47-13 loss against Lake Travis last week. There's a big play that just happened. But yeah, it's tied right now, and.
Yeah, so Lauren, tell me a little bit about Judson. How much better does Judson's product look this week than it did last week against Lake Travis? Yeah, it looks like we're having a hard time with Lauren. We may cut this one and try and catch back up with Lauren later. But we were talking about Warren and how good they were playing against Churchill. Other big San Antonio games, we can also take a look at San Antonio Brandeis at San Antonio Johnson, Jeff. And I think that's a big game because Johnson's got a lot to prove after what they did to Harlingen last week. Sure. They beat them real bad, shut them out. A great defensive performance.
And the total dominance is 13-10 right now. Johnson over Brandeis, bit of an upset there. And that total dominance, Johnson, as you know, waxing Harlingen 36-0. No one saw that coming.
Well, here's the big one. They allowed 47 total yards to Harlingen. Harlingen, which pretty much wrote the book on South Texas offense, managed 47 total yards last week against Johnson's defense. They only rushed for minus 17 yards. Can you even say only minus 17? No, Johnson did an unbelievable job in the run game. 7 first downs allowed. They picked off a pass. Only allowed 31% passing. Now, Harlingen was replacing a lot from the last couple years. We knew that, but still, Johnson defense, that's a gold star. That's a pretty impressive performance, I think.
All right, San Antonio Reagan at San Antonio Connor. Reagan leading big right now, 35-14.
Not sure what to tell you. I mean, I think Reagan being one of the best teams in San Antonio, we have him listed in third overall in the region. I think we more or less expected that Reagan was going to go win this game. O'Connor's a pretty good team, but Reagan's pretty talented, and they're kind of a sleeper team, I think, to go maybe 3 or 4 rounds deep in the playoffs this year.
So here we've got a 35-28 game, but we're real quick going to check in on a game from last night. This was a bit of an upset as well.
Well, Alamo Heights and Clark went head-to-head, and Alamo Heights going through some changes after they had some coaching changes. The first time they hadn't had Coach Don Bird on the sidelines in a long time. You can see Clark there in the dark jerseys, Alamo Heights in the white, and Clark, members we mentioned, lost to Churchill last week in the Gucci Bowl. But Alamo Heights fumbling the ball here, and Clark jumps on top of it. That's the kind of opportunities you can't give to a team like Clark. Alamo Heights just, let that one slip away, I guess. But they got the ball back down in the red zone. Little quarterback keeper right on the end zone here. Pushes it in for an early touchdown right at near the end of the first quarter and jumps out to a lead over Clark.
Yeah, some mule power right there. Here it's 35-28, Westlake leading Temple at halftime. Yeah, a lot of points here in the early going. What'd you say?
Well, halftime's taken forever because the first half took forever. I mean, we've still got 7 and 7.5 minutes left in halftime. Jeff, it's rare that we get a game that runs all the way up to our overtime show from 10:30 to 11.
But we may get
that
one
tonight, I know.
No kidding. All right, Fox Football Friday continues. We'll move over to North Texas when we return. Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. It's the Blitz. We're rolling with you all the way until 11 o'clock from here in Temple. The Wildcats trailing Westlake right now, as you see our view from behind us. 35-28 right now. Westlake on top. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart with you. And let's go and move on over to the, North Texas. And we'll get to the Academy Sports Desk in a quick moment. But before we move there, give me your thoughts real quick on this game, real fast.
Well, the game behind us here, Westlake and Temple, well, we're going to really figure out where the hay is made when we head into the second half. Westlake needs to make improvements on defense. We've said that. And Temple really just needs to clean up special teams and keep doing what they're doing. Whichever one of those wins out, that'll be your winner for you.
Okay, let's check in with Rick Renner at the Academy Sports Desk. Rick, what do you have?
Thank you, guys. Let's talk DF-Dub. 11 state titles in the last 11 years in Class 5A. But one name that never comes up is LD Bell. They haven't been able to get past Euless Trinity since 1997. Well, maybe this is the year. Interesting game tonight with Midland Lee. Rebels came out with the cause last year. They won their first 5 but dropped their last 4 to miss the playoffs. Let's go to Hearst. Serious measuring stick on the line between these two. Both of them won their openers, and we pick it up early on in the first. They're raring to go. And how about Colson Romano? This kid, remember his name, he finds Nathan Gillard on the crossing route, spins away. Midland Lee defenders can't get him down. He'll go 37 yards to the outside here. The drive stalls just outside the 20, and Nate Kelly will come in for the boot and add 3 more on the board. They are enjoying things. Later on in the first, Colson Romano again, then finds Buddy Nathan. Yeah, and gets in again. 39 yards on this roll. Brian James would take it in for the 2-point conversion. Now it's 21-17, Midland Lee leading in the third. Let's bring in our 2 queens. As we actually look at these scores, you can see that Allen score really surprised everybody. And how about Highland Park in control over Monterey Tech? And that brings us to our 2 queens of social media. I'm talking about the Fox Sports Southwest girls, Kami and Liddy. What is the buzz tonight as we look at that Highland Park score?
We're actually talking about how we actually just got a really cool photo from a girl that just graduated from Highland Park High School, Allie Nugent, who just won something pretty exciting. She just won Miss Texas. That's amazing. She's actually the first contestant from Dallas to win in 20 years. She did. She just graduated from Highland Park High School.
Speaking of Highland Park,
we didn't.
But it's a big game for Park. Great tech. So, and the last class, but
I think they're leading pretty big, so I think they got this one.
Pretty good.
Yeah, wanted to mention, girls, too. Allie, she's a member of that Best Buddies Club. She's a president of that, helps children that are dealing with Down syndrome and other mental disabilities. Such a good kid, and it's going to be a lot of fun to root for her. And as Miss USA, as she goes forward, represent Texas.
Yeah, about to compete Miss USA, actually, so hopefully Texas will give us a win.
You guys, it looks like your sister. She looks so much like you, Liddy. I mean, I know you guys are
well, that's a compliment because she's beautiful.
Yeah, social media is a big part of what we do here on Fox Sports Southwest. And, of course, you can follow the girls on Twitter and at Facebook. Just go to foxsportssouthwest.com. They're just a couple of million followers short of Justin Bieber territory. And with that, I'll kick it back out to the boys in Temple. Take it away, guys.
All right, thank you, Rick, and thanks, girls. We appreciate that. Angela caught up with Mike Spradlin down on the sidelines, of course, talking a little football. This game has been a wild affair, back and forth, 35-28 right now. Westlake on top, but here's Angela with Coach Spradlin.
Despite special teams kind of struggling in the first half, your offense was able to stay in the game, only trailing by a touchdown. What did you tell them at halftime?
Well, that's often I said to say kind of struggling. I mean, that was about as poor special teams effort as I've seen in a while. You know, what we told our kids was basically, I mean, as many mistakes as we made, we've got a 7-point football game. So we got to go to work, eliminate those mistakes, and make some good things happen.
What are you looking for out of your offense in the second half?
Well, we've got to keep the pressure on. I mean, we certainly went through a couple of series there where things didn't go very well for us. I was tickled to death that we came back, responded, scored that last touchdown. We've got to stay consistent, keep ourselves out of bad plays, don't give up any sacks, and keep going to work and scoring touchdowns. Our defense actually at times has been pretty good. They haven't given up that many points. Had 2 block kicks and a couple of them for touchdowns. It's stuff we can't do.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we appreciate that, Angela. And here are the highlights as we were talking about it. Right up the gut for a touchdown right there. And this has been a lot of offense, but hey, starts with that offensive line. There's Jordan Siebert with the nice pass in the corner of the end zone right there. And that one good to Brandon Box, who's had a big first half for Westlake. Special teams has been a big problem for Temple. 2 touchdowns for Westlake in this game off special teams blocks.
Yeah, punt blocks actually, but Temple came right back and got into this game. And that man, the quarterback, Zach Allen's a big reason why. You saw he took a huge shot there, but he did find the end zone. And here's another little fader out there into the corner. It's another great touchdown catch, and he's really kept him in the game. Here's another one of those punts we talked about. It's not really even blocked. It's just a bad snap. Came rocketing in like an apple seed. And there's not really a whole lot you can do about that. But Westlake, as you said, up 35-28 right now as we head into the second half. Players are on the field now.
Yeah, getting ready to start that second half. So now let's go ahead and move over to the North Texas area. Denton Ryan obviously doing quite well. Denton Geyer, maybe a surprise on the other side.
Well, I think Denton Geyer is a surprise, and they actually lost last night, so they're now down to 0-2, and that's surprising for the team that was supposed to be the top team in 4A to start the year. Ryan's a winner. They're 1-0 after a comeback win against Corsicana. We'll talk about that a little more. That was last week. Prosper Sherman in at 3-4. Wichita Falls Rider, they're in a dogfight tonight. We'll talk about that in a minute. They're at 0-1 and come in the fifth spot.
Well, let's talk about it now. Wichita Falls Rider at Denton Ryan, and why not? I mean, it's 13-12 right now. Rider on top just by a point in the third quarter, and surprisingly close.
Yep, they just kicked a field goal to get to that point, and really for all the offensive talent in the field, you got to be surprised it's at 13-12. And really it all starts with J.T. Barrett, the quarterback for Rider, had more than 400 yards total offense last week. When he gets on track, he's dangerous. But Jeff, as you and I both know, Ryan felt like they wrote the book on offense through much of the past decade. But then actually look at the numbers. In 2007, just under 30 points per game. And then 08 and 09 was where they really blew up over the past couple of years. 49 and 47 points per game, which is a ridiculous mark. Almost no teams can match that in a year. But in the past 2 years, they've started to peter off a little bit again. 35.1, 36.2, which are still great numbers. But when you think of Ryan, you think offense. We're here to tell you that maybe the narrative is changing. They offer a little bit more balance than you think.
All right, how about we got another interesting matchup between Sherman and Sulphur Springs. It's been tight. Sherman leading right now 35-29 in the third.
Well, defenses need not apply. I mean, both of these teams absolutely lit up the scoreboard. We'll talk about that in just a second last week. And now neither defense is having any luck really getting a stop against these two high-powered offenses. When you look at what they did last week, Jeff, it was actually pretty incredible when you combine these two teams' performances in their games. Sherman ended up beating Little Elm 57-56 in overtime. Sulphur Springs ended up downing Tyler Lee 35-34 in overtime. Both of them stuffed 2-point conversions at the last second to win it. But look at the offensive numbers between these two teams in these games. 1,900 combined total yards between those two games, 99 combined first downs, and 26 combined touchdowns. If you're looking for proof that the era of defensive football is dead and gone, Sherman and Sulphur Springs are happy to provide their resumes so far.
All right, how about Windthorst at Holiday? Right now, Holiday leading big 35-7.
Man, it's a tough start for Windthorst, Tom. So first off, you lead against Monday, which may be the best 1A team in Texas.
Sure.
And you get thumped by DePaul, who puts out a great performance, an all-time best. Then you go out and play a pretty good 2A team in Holiday, who's up 35-7. I think Windthorst is going to be okay. I think they'll be better throughout the season. They had a coaching change late in the year. That's tough to adjust to. But for right now, the goal is you just got to get through non-district schedule. It's so tough for them right now.
All right, how about Sanger at Argyle Liberty Christian?
Does that score look familiar?
Yeah,
it's almost exactly what Prestonwood was beating Gilmer by. That's what we were saying.
What's happening now?
These private school teams, they flipped the narrative on everybody.
Sure.
They've brought in so much collegiate talent. They've got such good coaching, such good facilities. It's pretty tough to beat these squads now.
All right, Gunner at Pottsboro. Pottsboro leading this one 27-0 in the third.
I don't think a lot of people saw that one coming. Both these teams won last week and looked pretty good doing it. But I think a lot of people were favoring Gunter. You know, a pretty consistent product, good in the ground game, good on defense. But Pottsboro, man, they proved both of those elements wrong in a short period. 27-0 right now. This Pottsboro team, if they play like that every week, that's going to be a pretty good 2A team.
So Pottsboro doing well tonight. All right, we'll get this one started in the second half. Right now, Temple trailing Westlake. More in just a moment when Fox Football Friday continues.
Side, the short side again. Two receiver splits to the near side, and Jabryce Taylor to the short side of the field. Shotgun snap, hand the ball off to Tolbert. No, he fakes to Tolbert and dumps a pass to Mapp, and he makes the catch at the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal. Nice fake to Tolbert. He sold me on it. And he just dumps that pass downfield to Mapp, and that is a completion to the 10. It'll be first and goal.
Well, he also sold the Lee defense on another boot waggle, this time by the Panthers. Lee did it earlier. They were effective on theirs for a first down.
And so it'll be first and goal for Lufkin at the 10-yard line. Clock moving and 7:40 to go in the third quarter, and Lufkin sending Jabryce Taylor wide to the near side. They go back to the power formation. Stubblefield likes to run with the ball out of this. And as the
10-0 Big Spring. 10-0 Big Spring. We're doing Syntax next. Oh, yeah, that's probably it. The last I had was 10-0.
Jeff, we're going to have time for our phoner and six-man, right? I really want to get him in. Game 5 on Syntax. We can bump it up if you want and take him pretty close to the top. He said he's already standing by, so why don't we just grab him right off the top? It'd be fun.
Don't forget we have a package too.
We do?
On six-man?
Oh, it's in here somewhere. I'm not sure where I put it.
Welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. It's The Blitz. Jeff Howard, Travis Stewart joining you, and Angela Heyman on the sidelines. Been very busy. A lot of scoring going on here at Temple as Westlake leads Temple right now, 35-28. You want to do a little six-man?
Oh, man, I would love that. We didn't do a great job on six-man last year, but we're here to answer the bell. Let's start off in Central Texas. That will be the six-man game we're going to jump into. We'll get there in just a moment. Start with the top 5, though, Jeff. A couple teams we talked about earlier, Hewitt Midway, A&M Consolidated.
Yeah, those two are battling each other tonight. It's been back and forth. More on that in just a moment. We had highlights of that one earlier. But I tell you, Temple right here, very deserving right now. They look like they've got a great football team. They're in this one against Westlake, only down 7 at the half.
Absolutely. Copperas Cove comes in at 4, Waco at 5. Both of them are playing each other tonight. We've got a big score update on that one. Someone's beating someone pretty bad. But let's segue out into our six-man coverage. We promised it. Ken Capps is out at Milford versus Abbott. Abbott's not all that far from the Syntax area. We'll lump them into that. Ken, give us a score update and tell us what you've seen so far tonight.
Well, guys, right now with just minutes to play, it's Milford beating Abbott at home 31-28. It was 108 degrees at kickoff, guys. That's a record here in Abbott. Both schools stayed very well hydrated and healthy. The Milford did storm back in the third quarter to take the lead. Both teams with speedy, powerful running backs. Jairus Russell for Milford, Tyler Russell for Abbott. No relation, but both men churned out tough yards for the Bulldogs and the Panthers. And this game certainly lived up to its six-man game of the week billing. I've got a few other scores around the state, if you don't mind. I've got Valley 45, Happy Not Very, Happy 45, Valley 45, Happy 0. Strong over El Paso Jesus Chapel, 83-21. That game over at the half, and Savoy over Bald Springs Christian.
All right, very good. We appreciate that, Ken. And keep those updates coming in all night long.
Gotta love six-man football.
Oh, you gotta love it. All right, let's roll through this area because there's definitely some great games. A&M Consolidated, Hewitt Midway. Right now, Midway leading at 24-14.
Well, they were leading at 17-14. They must have tacked another one on in the third quarter, and it gets pretty tough sledding for Consolidated right now because Midway's got a great defense.
Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights in the early going in this game. As this is when Midway started rolling.
Wow,
big deep pass right there. Midway, of course, in the red jerseys there. Good crowd on hand up in at Hewitt, and there is the play. He bounces off the tackle, and look at the effort. Oh, but down just short of the goal line. Clock rolling. Come on, get it in there. Here we go.
Wow.
There's a touchdown. Nice
job. That was a heck of a catch out of the shotgun. I tell you what, the touchdown, points get on the board from the touchdown, but points also for that incredible snap catch.
All right, so Midway leading there. How about Waco at Copperas Cove right now? Cove up big, 37-7 after losing last week.
Well, we've said it a lot tonight, but a team that loses the week before, you don't want to play them. That's what happens with Cove and Waco. They lost last week, coming out hot.
How about about Killeen at Vandegrift? And look at this, Killeen up 17-14. Vandegrift had a big win last week.
Well, so did Killeen. They beat New Braunfels Canyon in the waning moments of that game, and they're coming out with a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence. Could be a tough team to beat. But Killeen ISD as a whole is struggling right now, Jeff. Killeen over the past 4 years, 34-16. It's not that bad. It's the rest of them that have had a hard time. Ellison 13-27, Harker Heights 11-29, Shoemaker 5-36. Only 4 winning seasons combined between these 4 teams over the past 4 years. Fans, you got to support them.
Cameron Yo at Lexington. Look at this. Yo up 13-6 in the third.
I think Lexington actually just scored recently. They may have come back and taken the lead, but either way, it's still a dogfight. And Lexington quarterback Kogan Garrett is about as good as they come. I call him Kogan the Barbarian. I'll let you guess how I came up with that. This is his career. It's pretty good. 2011, 3,000 yards rushing, 1,000 rushing, or 3,000 passing, 1,000 rushing. 2010, 2,600 yards passing and 600 yards rushing. He's as good as they come. He's got a great chance to be his school's all-time record holder in a lot of categories with those kind of numbers.
All right, some good stuff right there. And we've already checked in with 6-man, 35-28 right now. As we mentioned to you, that Temple trailing Westlake right now.
Well, I'm really interested to see how the rest of this game shakes out. We've still got about 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Things picking up a little bit now in the pace.
Okay, the Rio Grande Valley is next when Fox Football Friday continues from here in Temple.
I'm looking for it right now. Hang tight. Fast as I can. Come on.
Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. It's the Blitz. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart with you here in Temple as Westlake leading right now over the Wildcats. Look at the crowd on hand, fired up, ready to go. 35-28 right now, Westlake on top. Let's go out to the big country real quick before we go to the Rio Grande Valley. We've got some highlights in. And I tell you what, Tobin Tannehill, he's a pretty good football player. Right now, Big Spring leading 17-6 over Midland Christian. They just got a late touchdown here, but let's go ahead and take a look at some highlights here. This is Tobin Tannehill. Look at that uniform, looking pretty sharp right there. And the play, Tannehill, nice little fake right there. Tobin cutting to the outside. Good run right there. A little bit like his brother, huh?
Mm-hmm. Looks like it. He was a good wide receiver. There's Christian Wiggum for Midland Christian fighting off right tackle. And I tell you what, the Big Spring defense steps up to the task. There's Tannehill again, shotgun, roll out left, looks to throw, and he's just got room to run it. There he goes. He's a good player, Jeff.
Yeah, why not? Hey, Big Spring was up 10-0 in this game at halftime, so that's a pretty fantastic defensive performance. And then they get the touchdown. They're up now 17-6 over Midland Christian. Of course, Midland Christian, defending champions. Big Spring didn't even win a game last year, so
That's
impressive turnaround.
That's right. With how much Big Spring has struggled as of late, this would be a pretty substantial upset out in the Permian Basin.
No doubt about it. All right, the Rio Grande Valley, Mission Sharyland, one of the top teams, as is McAllen Memorial.
Well, Harlingen took a big drop after their loss last week, but McAllen Memorial, San Benito, all 1-0. Donna 1-0 as well. They have a tough game with Weslaco tonight. Don't forget.
Let's talk about it. Donna at Weslaco, definitely one of the matchups we've been keeping an eye on all night long, and this is a team that, both these teams, that, it's a restored rivalry, if you will.
Yeah, exactly, because they hadn't played since 2007. We have David Hinojosa, the local journalist down there in the media. David, 28-14 right now in the fourth. What have you seen so far in this game?
It's been a pretty interesting game here. Donna fumbled Donna recovered Donna turned the ball over, and Weslaco was able to turn those turnovers into touchdowns, and they took a 14-0 lead. But since then, Donna's controlled the clock. They've scored 4 unanswered points, they have 4 unanswered touchdowns, and they lead 28-14. They pretty much controlled the clock toward the end of the first quarter.
All right, David Hinojosa, we do appreciate it. So Donna leading 28-14. That's kind of a little bit more about what we thought right there that would happen in that game because, they were trailing early on. But now let's move over to Harlingen. They trail San Benito 7-3 late.
Man, the Harlingen offense right now is playing like the football is more like an anvil. They're having a really hard time moving it. They're going to hit their stride eventually. I really believe it. But San Benito's defense, which is really good, saw it good last week, is not making it easy on them.
All right, how about McAllen Memorial, Edinburgh, Economitas? Look at this, 21-14 Memorial.
Well, both of these teams are coming off wins, so they're coming in on highs, but McAllen Memorial was going to be the favorite team here all the way.
All right, Edinburgh at McAllen. It's a team we'll get to look at next week. More on them throughout the night, but that's a team we'll be watching out for with Nikki Rowe next week.
Well, McAllen's leading this game at the half. I believe it's 25-14. Looking at PSJ Memorial at Harlingen South. Harlingen South, a winner last week. Maybe your favorite here, but they haven't traditionally been a favorite in the Valley, so maybe seeing a program turn a new leaf right now, Jeff.
Yeah, Harlingen South, they're definitely a team to reckon with, no question. All right, Fox Football Friday will continue from here in Temple. More highlights for you when Fox Football Friday continues. Nice.
Go for it. What you got? Okay. Yep. Score? Piney Woods is tough. I'll work on it. Who are they playing? College Park? Try something drastic. Yeah, that's getting a little repetitive. Thank you, Temple.
Yeah, they stopped. Uh-oh. Now all of a sudden there's like not that much off. And welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart with you here in Temple. Angela Hammond on the sidelines, and we're dancing. We're having a good time down here with the Wildcats. Look at us. All right. It is 35-28 right now. Temple trailing Westlake. Let's go check in with the Academy Sports Desk and Rick Renner, who has more across the state. Rick?
Thank you, guys. A lot of games we're keeping an eye on in East Texas. Number 1, John Tyler in trouble tonight with Lancaster. Pretty a big surprise there. But how about Chapel Hill? who's in danger of an 0-2 start, while White House is in the house with a perfect record out of the gate. So let's go to Trinity Mother Francis Rose Stadium for this one. Down 7-3, here comes White House. And you remember this kid, Dylan Cantrell? He's one of the best receivers in the state. Takes that one from Patrick Mahomes, and he'll get in from 37 yards. Then another touchdown here. Brian Cheatham going deep to Cantrell, and Cantrell can do. It's all White House, 42-6. The final in this one. Time now to bring in the queens of Twitter and Facebook. You know them as the Fox Sports Southwest girls, Kami and Liddy. Fans have been conversing with you guys all night. Well, what are they saying?
Oh, we've gotten photos, we've gotten tweets. We're still waiting for our first video, though, so send us videos. We want to see what's going on. How cool. That's a great shot. Sky Creek.
Okay. Cypress Creek.
Well, that's really pretty good. And we have our first tweet of the night from Nikki Hudson. She asked, if y'all could play any instrument in a high school band, what would it be? That is a really good one. I think I would probably play the drums. I'd want to be in the drum line. It looks really hard, I have to say, and it'd probably be really hot in Texas having to carry that big drum, but it looks so fun. I would love to do that. I would have to either the trombone or... That's a good one. The tuba and big drum. We would be those.
You guys like labor or something? Well, for me, not tuba B. I think I would go with triangle. You know, I'm kind of square, but I'd go with the triangle.
There you go. Taking the easy route. Let's see how it is.
Now, what do fans have to do to get those pictures to you?
Well, you can go to foxsportssouthwest.com and click on the banner, and you need to sign up first, most importantly, and then you can upload photos from there. Sign up with Twitter, Facebook, email, whatever works for you, whatever's easiest.
Really easy. Thanks so much, girls. Appreciate it. Make sure you join us for Scoreboard Live coming up at midnight. Kami and Liddy will join Craig Way and myself. We got highlights from all over the state in your pictures from Kami and Liddy as we continue now with the Piney Woods. Jeff Power and Travis Stewart. Take it away, guys.
All right, Rick, do appreciate that. Yes, let's go to the Piney Woods real quick, the regional top 5. Let's begin with Lufkin. Despite the loss, hey, still a great football team.
Well, they lost to John Tyler, which is a pretty good team. They should actually be 0-1 right there. Huntsville at 1-0, Cold Spring, Oakhurst 1-0, Montgomery 0-1, and Livingston 0-1. But still, all pretty good teams. And we actually just talked about Lufkin. Let's go right to it. They took on Tyler Lee tonight. They actually hosted Tyler Lee. We've got radio on that game, but Lufkin was up on this one. They still are, apparently, 34-21. And I tell you what, Jeff, I don't know if I call it a rivalry, but this series has been a little one-sided as of late. Lufkin, they've won the last 5 straight, and there really hasn't been a whole lot of close ones in there, maybe just 1 or 2 of them. As you can see, 2008 got pretty close, a 5-point game. Other than that, Lufkin's just been the better program, really. And, I mean, great offense, great defense, great talent. They've got pretty much everything you want in a good team.
How about Montgomery at Pearland Dawson? That's an interesting matchup. We'll be with Montgomery later this year, but they trail big right now, 28-9.
Well, Montgomery lost a lot of seniors. I think it was like 37 seniors they graduated, which is a ton, even for a big school. So you knew it was going to be an adjustment early on in the year. And Pearland Dawson just so happens to have one of the best running backs in Texas, and that's James White, who's headed out to Texas A&M.
Yeah, that is a good-looking football team, Pearland Dawson. How about College Park at Huntsville?
Well, College Park leading this one at this point right now, 14-6. I think that may be close to halftime into the third quarter. But Huntsville's ground game really needs to pick up the slack. They were very good in week 0, surprisingly good, I might say. But College Park is a better defensive team all around than the Humboldt team that Huntsville saw last week. And let's take a look at the Huntsville rushing numbers from a week ago. Ricky Bennett, 28 yards and 2 touchdowns. James Burns, 81 yards. Maury Evans, 88 yards. Johnny Crew, 23. Harold Johnson, 15. It's a dizzying array of kids, and it's pretty tough for defenses to try and keep track of, really.
No kidding. All right, Dayton at Livingston.
Well, Dayton's winning this one pretty handily. Oh, Livingston's making a good comeback. That's wonderful. Dayton actually beat a pretty good Fort Bend Elkins team last week, and they did it with a lot of defense. The offense wasn't great, but the defense sure as heck was. Now, Livingston, They needed to come out and play this game well from the beginning if they wanted to stay in it, knowing that Dayton's defense was so good. Hadn't happened yet. Still a chance, but playing from behind.
How about Garrison at Tenaha? Tenaha leading 12-6. Is this the same Tenaha we saw win the state championship last year?
Maybe, but it's not the same Tenaha we saw lose in week 0. And I think all three of those teams are going to be pretty different. Last year's team, they were good defensively, but they were very good offensively with Reginald Davis at quarterback. Without him now, he's graduated, gone to Texas Tech. They have to turn to a little more defensive-minded subset. It's obviously what they've done so far, playing well tonight against Garrison.
All right, let's check in with Angela. We have a scoring update. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff. Temple just scored on a 12-yard touchdown pass to Chad President. Another touchdown reception for him tonight. Great reception for him, but he came up holding his hamstring. Looked like he was cramping up. I think he's going to be okay. Didn't look too serious. Temple still trails, though, 35-34, unable to connect on the extra point.
That could be huge. Okay, Angela, thank you very much. That could be big.
Special teams killing Temple. Blocked extra point, missed extra point, and one blocked punt and one missed point, both returned for touchdowns.
2 touchdowns for Westlake on special teams.
That's 16 points. That'll kill you.
Incredible.
Got to convert 16 points.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to be on Fox Football Friday anyway. All right, Golden Triangle next on Fox Football Friday. We're here in Temple. We'll be right back with much more.
Okay, here I go. Give me a second to try and track them down. Okay, Nederland 45, Goose Creek Memorial 20. That's final. Okay. Say again. Vider 45, Bridge City 7. That's final. Westbrook is leading Central 23-13 in the. That's an old one, but let's just do Westbrook 23, Central 13. What are we still missing? I got to find that one. Hang tight. Port Neches Groves. I can give you that one. West Orange Stark 27, Port Neches Groves 13. God, Golden Triangle sucks reporting scores. Doesn't say. Let's just go second. Okay. I got nothing on Ozan. I don't have a single score. That's the last update they gave me. Here we go. Oh, no, that's last week. Jesus Christ. Golden Triangle. Get it together. You hear me, Jim Barton?
I was going to say, Jim's going to come slap you.
I welcome it. Good God almighty. How can I not find a freaking score for Ozan Memorial?
Welcome back to Fox Football Friday. The Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. We're here in Temple. We've got ourselves a barn burner here. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart, Angela Heyman on the sidelines. Right now, Westlake up by only 1 point, 35-34. We thought it was going to be a defensive struggle.
And that's with 2 missed extra points from Temple in there. It could be a totally different game right now.
Let's go to the Golden Triangle area. Let's get you set up. Port Arthur Memorial, probably the best team over there in the Big Triangle. What do you say?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably correct. You look down at the rest of the top 5. Nederland, they may be making a strong move higher up after the big win they posted already tonight. We'll get to that in a second. Vider at 1-0, PNG at 1-0, and Beaumont Ozan at 1-0. And that's Ozan beating Westbrook, something they haven't done in a good long while. So impressive performances from all of our top 5 in week 0.
All right, from Port Arthur Memorial at Beaumont Ozan. And this is a game that we've been kind of keeping an eye on. It's a game that's definitely one of the biggest ones out in this area.
Well, I tell you what, I'm calling Golden Triangle out. If someone's got an update on this game, please do send it in. Twitter has not been forgiving, but Ozan's got a great offense. Port Arthur Memorial's got a great defense, strength on strength. I think it'll probably be close.
All right, Beaumont Central at Beaumont Westbrook. Right now, Westbrook up 23-13.
Yeah, this is an earlier score. Not sure where it is right now. I haven't seen an update in about half an hour from anyone, but Westbrook playing a lot better tonight than they did a week ago when they lost to Ozan. Central still struggling to find its way offensively right now.
Goose Creek Memorial at Nederland. Look at that. Nederland wins it 35-20. We got to see Nederland up close last year. That's a good-looking football team.
Nederland is not amused. Offensively, very good. Defensively, apparently very good as well. They started out the season 2-0, and I tell you what, I mean, the 5A, 4A separation right now in the Golden Triangle is not that great, and with the way Nederland's playing, they may be the best team in the Golden Triangle.
All right, West Orange Stark leading Port Neches Groves right now 27-13 in the third quarter.
Yeah, this one's a little bit of an earlier update as well, still searching for the current score, but I think everyone's got to be surprised. Not only is it right now 3A over 4A, but Port Neches Grove looked great last week, so I'm a little surprised that they came out sluggish against West Orange Stark. Then again, Stark may have 2 of the top 5 recruits overall in the whole Golden Triangle. We'll talk about that in a second.
How about Vider at Bridge City? Vider wins it big, 45-7.
If you're a fan of 4A football and you live in the Golden Triangle, this has been your year, and the year before has also been your year. It's just been a great time for Vider, Beaumont, Ozan, Nederland. All these teams are really hot. Vider's showing, flexing their muscle again in Wedge over Bridge City. Get this, Vider didn't even throw a pass tonight, didn't even try. They ran the ball every single snap, 145-7.
So what do you think? The top teams in the area, the cream of the crop, if you will?
I mean, Nederland's got to be up there. I think Viderland's got to be up there too. What's interesting is their top recruits spread out over a lot of different teams. Port Arthur Memorial, offensive lineman Matthew Romar is very good, or defensive lineman, Matthew Romar, very good. But Stark, no surprise, they've got 2 kids that are really talented. Linebacker Trayvon Blanchard's got a lot of talent, and Colin Janis, the defensive back's good as well. But I really like what Beaumont Ozan's got right now. They have Tony Brown, who's a defensive back, a junior, very skilled. But they got 2 kids on offense who not necessarily highly recruited, but very prolific. Quarterback Jordan Ozan, there's a name correlation there, not a coincidence. And running back Jacoby Jones. That tandem, that's one of the reasons that 4A team is really tough to beat and why they could be the best team in the Golden Triangle.
Okay, sounds good. We're going to get to the El Paso area coming up here in just a minute. Right now, again, 35-34. Westlake still leading Temple. They're about to close out the third quarter, so not nearly as much scoring going on here in the third quarter as the first half. But let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with much more here on Fox Football Friday.
Football Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today.
Yeah, there was a bunch of weather rolling into North Texas. Yeah. Jeff, do you need finals for our scoreboards coming up in No, I don't have a single El Paso score. Do you need final scores for the next segment? Okay, Coppell 36. Coppell 31, Boyd 6. Sorry. Highland Park 34. Monterey Tech 23. It's from Mexico.
So we're getting in scores from Mexico.
Monterey Tech 23. (34-23), Highland Park. Smithson Valley 38. Laredo United 14. Mason 31.
Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. It's the Blitz. We got you all the way until 11 o'clock from here in Temple, and we've got ourselves a good game here, 35-34. Temple shaking it all out right now here as we close out the third quarter, but they are trailing Westlake by a point, 35-34. More on that in just a moment. Let's move out to El Paso, talk about what's going on. There's been actually some weather delays out there.
Yeah, I think a lot of games in El Paso have been delayed. There was a bunch of storms and a cold front moving through North Texas.
All right.
We know that should mean, yeah, I know, right? Too bad we're in Central Texas. Monwood right now top in El Paso, I think 1-0. They beat Permian. It's pretty tough to argue that. Franklin comes in at 1-0 after beating San Angelo Central. Americas, they lost to one of the Midland teams. They're 0-1. Still the third overall team, I think. Chapin 0-1. And then Burgess with Aaron Jones is 1-0. We're going to talk about Aaron Jones in just a second.
All right, we got, let's check in real quick with Angela here on the sidelines. We got some, I guess you'd call it breaking news on the sideline. A little play right here. Check it out. Stiff arm, fighting his way into the end zone. Oh, gets out of bounds on about the 5-yard line. Not quite into the end zone. That was, let's see, that was Harrison Lyons, though, on the play. But, hey, it just happened. So, you know, let's have some fun with it. But Westlake's going to probably score here in just a moment. We'll keep you in tune with that.
I hear some people yelling behind us. It's got to be close. Remember, we can't show you plays live. We've shown a slight delay. Here's the next play after that reception down the sideline for Westlake. You can see Jordan Sievert there in the shotgun, looking to go off left tackle, met by a wall of Temple defenders. And, Jeff, if Westlake punches it in, it wouldn't necessarily be game over, but it could be very difficult. It could make it a 2-score game if they go for 2.
Yeah, Westlake up by a point, as you see, 35-34. Jordan Sievert looking pretty good. He likes to throw the ball around. He's got that big, tall frame, about 6'5", but they've actually had Sean Rawlings in as well playing quarterback, and he's been more the short yardage guy tonight. So Westlake trying to pound it in here. They're on about the 5-yard line here trying to take it in against Temple. They do lead right now by a point, 35-34, and I imagine the crowd will tell us whether or not Westlake gets in.
Well, I think we just did. I heard a big ooh ahead of us. Let's take a look at the next play up right now. Westlake was on the 5 looking to throw. Good little option, little play fake, and then a big hit on Jordan Sievert. Almost a great touchdown catch from Westlake receiver, but it goes through his hands, and Temple holds on. They've got another couple stops left in them, and they can keep this a ball game.
That's Zach Dansby there trying to make the catch in the corner of the end zone. That ball kind of up for grabs, but hey, a little volleyball going on that play. All right, let's check back in. Let's check back in with the El Paso Burgess at Americas. This is a big game out in West Texas tonight. 14-all right now in the second quarter, but a delay, as we had mentioned, weather moving through West Texas. I think it's only supposed to get in the 80s across the state of Texas tomorrow is the high. How about that?
Well, as you said, a frosty 104 here at the set. Thankfully, it's cooled down a little bit. And the biggest thing about Burgess, I think, is running back Aaron Jones. Let's talk to Joe Fan, best in El Paso, about fan talk. Let's get brief. We only got a couple seconds, Joe Fan, but tell me what you saw in this game so far.
Well, we're in a lightning delay. The game is tied 14-14 with 1:50 left before halftime. Both teams are back out warming up, so we'll be continuing shortly in this 1 hour lightning delay. It's been the Jones brothers. Aaron Jones has 1 TD on a great 39-yard run, and his brother Alvin Jones has carried the ball one time and had a 54-yard run. So their total offense between the Jones brothers of catching the ball have been 137 yards, and Burgess's offense is only 132. So you can imagine the Dolphin and the Burgess show as far as that goes. For the Trailblazers, Isaac Washington has put on quite a show for them. He has 6 carries, 84 yards, and 2 catches for 52 yards. So again, I hope you can hear me as we are getting ready to resume after a lightning delay. 1:50 left before halftime.
Thank you, Joe.
14-14 Americas and Burgess.
All right, 14-all. Thank you, Joe. Had to cut him off there. 34-40, well, 42 right now. I look around and see a score just happened. So that's right. Let's check in with Angela and find out what happened here with this touchdown behind us. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff. Well, Westlake goes for it on 4th and 1. They capitalize. It's now 42-35 Westlake. Sean Rawlings was in for about the last 4 or 5 plays. He keeps the ball for the quarterback sneak on that last play. Westlake scores. Back to you.
All right, there it is, 42, I think 34, Westlake up there now, and that's a big touchdown. That could be the one that puts the nail in the coffin here in the fourth quarter.
Well, at least it gives you an 8-point game, so you know they got to go for 2 to get it tied up. Temple does.
Okay, let's take a quick break. Fox Football Friday will continue here in a moment from Temple. Mm-hmm.
Allen beats Cedar Hill.
Final?
37-20.
Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. It is the Blitz. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart joining you from here in Temple, where Westlake now leads 42-34 over Temple. This has been an offensive shootout. Not as much scoring going on in the third quarter, but hey, great football game.
Well, we knew coaches were going to go in and make adjustments at halftime, which is what they did. Westlake's come out and played a lot better defensively, been able to adjust a little bit to Temple wants to do. 8-point game now, so we know Temple can still get into it. For a little more information, let's go down to Angela down in the field. Angela, what are you seeing right now, and what do you think the next couple minutes are going to hold for us?
Thanks, Travis. Well, again, you mentioned it. Westlake is leading 42-34. I think it's going to be more offense, obviously. I just had a Westlake fan walk by me and heard me say Sean Rolling's name, and she said, yeah, he's going to be a pretty good quarterback. He's just a sophomore. Obviously, Westlake is looking for a lot out of him. We may see more of him in this last quarter.
Okay, appreciate that, Angela. And again, 42-34. But, hey, the way this game is going, I wouldn't count Temple out just yet.
No, especially with a great quarterback like Zach Allen. You know he's going to be able to move the ball really well, work the corners, and that's really what's important when you're down in the fourth quarter like this is time management and efficient ball movement. A good quarterback like Allen really gives you a chance to shine at that. Unfortunately, you got Darren Allman on the other sideline, and he's really good at shutting down opposing defenses, opposing quarterbacks, and you know the run game is going to be almost out of the window right now for Temple. It's not totally over. You got 8 minutes left. You can still run a little bit, but throwing the ball is going to be your best bet at this point.
Yeah, Westlake will certainly be running the ball on offense, trying to hold that lead. Bet. All right, let's get some Wendy score updates. What do you say?
I would love that. There's a bunch of games that have already gone final. Our game's going a little late, but there's still a bunch of good finals out there that's worth, yeah, I mean, it gives us more to talk about. Still a bunch of good finals out there to look over. Chief among them, I think, Coppell McKinney Boyd is final now. 31-6 is your Coppell. Highland Park over Monterey Tech from Mexico. That's 34-23. Smithson Valley over Laredo United, 38-14. And Mason over Goldthwaite, that nice little 1A rivalry game, 31-14.
Did you say Highland Park played in Monterey?
No, they played here.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? They played here, but they did win. Lubbock Coronado and Lubbock, come on, 7-0. You do better than that.
Final. Yeah, hey, we'll have to check back in with Mr. Watson on that one.
Yeah, see what happens.
All right,
out there.
Belton over Stony Point, final 15-14. And look at Side Creek. They knocked out Klein Oak 24-21. And I know we've got some highlights of that one. That's been a great game, but Side Creek jumped on them early and just kind of hung tough.
Yeah, another big one that haven't talked about in a while is Wichita Falls Ryder and Denton Ryan. Ryder wins that one 21-15, the 4A downing the 5A. A great performance from Ryder. They're 1-1 now in the season. McGrader beats Moody, and then as we expected, Lake Travis beats New Braunfels Canyon 49-7. And LaPorte went ballistic on South Houston. I think that was 28-0 at the end of the first. It ends up being 55-21 as your final.
I'd say after LaPorte beat Katy last year in the postseason.
Everyone's radar now.
They are on everyone's radar, no question about it. So a lot of big games all over the state. Weather now a bit of a factor out in the El Paso area. There's been some lightning delays. You know, once lightning hits an area, you're talking about they can't play for at least 30 minutes. I mean, that could be a long night out there in El Paso.
Well, I called Coach Hutchinson, the coach at Stanford, a West Texas school, before we started tonight. Said, hey, we'd like to call you at the end of the night, see how your game went. He says, I'm not going to lie, we got a cold front coming in. We may not be done. We may not play at all. I said, Coach, you're going to really disappoint me if you don't play tonight. He laughed. But even the coaches are aware of it early on when they know there's a chance.
Oh, yeah, they know.
That games may be canceled, delayed, what have you.
Hey, let's take a look at a quick highlight here from this game behind us, Westlake and Temple. This game has, of course, been back and forth all night long. But tell you, if Temple wants to get back in it, they're going to need some plays like this. Check out the play. Cutting to the outside here. Good way to stay on your feet. Use those blockers. That's, of course, Zachary Allen, the quarterback for Temple. And looks like the Wildcats just scored. So Temple back in it. And, Temple, they were trailing 42-34, but, hey, now it's 42-40. They're right back.
They got to go for 2 now. We're going to take a look at the score right here. This was after the long Zach Allen run. Looks for the little fake hand. Oh, he actually did hand it off to Galen Sanders, and I don't know where he's going.
Oh, look at
but
Sanders.
He knows where he's going. He's got green light everywhere into the end zone.
Ankles breaking all over the place.
That's a pretty incredible run. So now it's 42-40. Temple's got to line up and go for 2. They're still getting the play in from the sideline right now. Remember, we can't show it to you live. But as soon as it goes final, as soon as that play finishes up, we'll pipe it into you. We'll talk about what just happened and what the strategy is.
Pretty much bringing it to you right after it happens.
Well, we're certainly trying.
All right, 42-40 here, Westlake. We'll let you know if they do go for 2. In fact, I think the crowd will tell us they are going to go for 2 as we expected.
But I hear some booing. I hear a lot of booing.
Well, it's not because they're going to try to kick. I doubt that.
No, I think it's referees maybe slowing up the game. I see some refs on the field. Let's take a look at some more final scores while Temple sorts this out here behind us. Well, as we said, a lot of games have already gone final. A bunch in the DFW area, including Allen's final score.
Yeah.
We'll get to that one in just a second. But like we said, here's our big scores that we're keeping track of.
The Wendy score updates. We can start with Abilene Cooper defeating Cedar Park. So the Timberwolves off to an 0-2 start so far this year. Gregory Portland over Alice, 41-21. Look at this. Cayuga falls 34-24 to Mount Enterprise. Malakoff over Italy, 57-36. That game is late in the fourth quarter. You might have just heard. Sounds like Temple just scored. More on that in a moment. The 2-point conversion. Yeah, let's go ahead and check in the 2-point conversion for Temple to tie things up here in the fourth quarter. And I might add, there's a 7:15 to play in the fourth quarter, so far from over. But here is the 2-point conversion.
It's Zach Allen rolling to his right, and he finds a receiver in heavy traffic. That has been there all day for Temple. The roll right for a guy sitting in the zone or rolling towards the corner. Jeff Power, we have a tie ball game. 42 with 7 minutes left. This may be the best and most entertaining game we've ever done.
I think it is.
When you think about it, 42-42, 7 minutes left. I can't think of another one that beats it.
All right, sounds good. Fox Football Friday continues from here in Temple. It's all tied up at 42. Back for more. Don't go anywhere. Big Spring won 17-12. You want that. Big Spring over Midland Christian. Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. This is the Blitz. Lots of highlights been rolling in all night long. We're here in Temple. You can see the scoreboard, 42-all, Westlake and Temple. It's been a great game throughout the night. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart joining you from right here just off the field. Angela Heyman down on the field for us, and she's been busy all night.
No kidding. If you're just now getting home and tuning in, I know a lot of people are just showing up from games wherever they were. We'll give you a quick recap. Temple got out on this game early. Westlake charged back in the second quarter and took a halftime lead. Then they stretched it a little bit in the third. Temple came came back and just tied it up in the fourth on a touchdown and 2-point conversion with 7 minutes left. And there's been a lot of bedeviling special teams problems for Temple. 2 blocked punts that led to touchdowns, and then 2 missed extra points. It's a big swing in this game. Right now they're in a dogfight, and honestly one of the best games I've seen in a while. It's been really fun, Jeff.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of everything. There's been blocked punts for touchdowns. There's been offensive touchdowns, of course, and the defense is looking good. It's been impressive all the way around.
It absolutely has. We're going to keep you updated on this game as things roll in. Let's run through a couple more final scores. I've got a bunch written down here on the notepad, but I think biggest out of all of them, Jeff, is probably Allen defeats Cedar Hill tonight, 37-20. That means in back-to-back weeks, Allen has now beaten South Lake Carroll and now beaten Cedar Hill. And the reason that matters is, usually the top team in 5A is considered to be the top team in Texas. Well, with those 2 wins under its belt, it's going to be really tough to keep Allen out of that top spot, or at least challenging for it. We may have a new best team in Texas already.
Of course, Dallas Skyline with all their loaded talent. That is a team that's looking very impressive so far in the young season here in Class 5A.
Yep.
Other scores to pass along: West Victoria defeated Cuero 40-19, and Big Spring beat Midland Christian 17-12. It's the first time they've upset a state champion since 1986, and this is a team that didn't win last year, so congratulations to Big Spring.
A huge turnaround in Big Spring. They've done things seemingly overnight, and they must have been able to find a way to slow down Christian Wiggum at Midland Christian, which I think is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Another one that jumps out to me is Refugio. Their winning ways continue in 2A Division II. They beat Edna tonight 56-0, and they just went nuts offensively, as you would expect, but the defense played really well. Another South Texas score. I don't have the final, but I know what happened. Harlingen lost. They lost to San Benito in the Battle of the Arroyo, which almost never happens. Harlingen wins that one more often than not, but they lose tonight. 0-2 for Harlingen. Never would have guessed it.
Yeah, and of course, we're going to be down in the Valley next week with Nicky Rowe and, of course, McAllen. Looking forward to that game. Haven't been down to the Valley in a couple years as far as the show. It's going to be fun.
Well, I told you we were going to talk about McAllen Rowe. We're going to see them next week. You see what they did last night? They won 85-0 last night, and they weren't even trying to score. They started running the ball to take the air out of it. They still scored 85. So next week is going to be a wild affair. I just have a sneaky suspicion.
We're going to keep you updated on this one. Of course, as we get to the bottom of the hour, we go into what we call overtime, and that's when we'll bring you a lot of highlights. We'll actually hear from some of the coaches. They'll phone in. We'll find out what happened. We want to kind of keep you updated with what's going on in El Paso. Several games out there delayed right now with lightning. Not uncommon this time of year to have storms rolling in, but I tell you, in one of the hottest days of the entire year, I'm happy to tell you it's going to be cooler tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I really do. I think something big just happened for Temple back there. It sounds like they may have gotten a defensive stop. We'll bring in the elements of that as fast as we can. Remember, 42-all right now. Temple Westlake, clock ticking almost down to 6 minutes now. Things getting tense.
Yeah, and we got one call earlier, 108 degrees out, not too far from here, in fact, when we had the 6-man call.
That's right.
So it's been incredible. But anyway, more to get to in just a few moments here. Again, more highlights, phone interviews, overtime coming up here at 10:30, and then we got you covered with high school football here until 1 o'clock in the morning. So stick around, folks. We'll be back.
Football Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. Buy Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Buy Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today. And by FredLoya.com.
Monday did. I can do this for 2 other games if you want it. Donna also won. Who won Texas City and Lamarck? No shit. Yep.
What was the final at Midway?
Doesn't
matter. But Midway won, right?
Mm-hmm. They won 34-27.
So is this overtime we're fixing to start? Or we got one more segment?
No, we're in overtime now. They just changed the sign.
But I got 10:27. What do you have?
Hey, Jeff, who are you going to call first? DFW scores first.
Hey, don't forget, we have Duncanville highlights against Abilene. I sent those to Scott. If we're going to start with DFW.
Highlights?
What? 84, 84?
I didn't catch that. One more time.
DFW Houston, Lake Travis. Okay. Fox Football Friday. It's overtime. We have got some highlights. We've got interviews coming. This is going to be some fantastic television for the next 30 minutes, folks. Let's stick around. If you want high school football, we've got you covered right here. We've got ourselves a great football game going on right behind us. We've been showing you highlights all night long. Temple, of course, and Westlake. This game back and forth, 42-all. They have been going at it back and forth. We can't show it to you live. We bring you these highlights moments after they happen, and it's been a crazy kind of game all night long. Jeff Power and Travis Stewart joining you, and let's just get right into it. What do you say?
Well, we got a bucket full of highlights. Let's start off in DFW. We're going to move through these pretty quick, people, so stay with us. DFW is where we are going to lead off. We have Abilene here. They were taking on Duncanville tonight, a Duncanville team that didn't look so hot against Colleyville Heritage, an Abilene team that did look pretty good against Hebron. Duncanville here in the shotgun running Jeff Dykes' spread offense. But the Abilene defense, defensive lineman Jake McMillan, that's a pretty good defense. Look at that. Oh, great pass break up there. You see Abilene was just in Duncanville's face all night. Evan Abbey, the quarterback at Abilene, starting off well, looking for the effort there. Second effort, third effort, working his way down into the red zone. It was a workmanlike effort. Abilene wins 23-8.
Great action from Shotwell Stadium. All right, let's check in on another really big game tonight from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You know what I'm talking about. Segue, please. Allen, Cedar Hill. A couple of undefeated teams. Allen rolling up early and often. Allen is for real, folks. They have a new stadium, and they've got a great football team.
Exactly. They were all over Cedar Hill tonight, and maybe the defense was most impressive. They held Cedar Hill to just 20 points tonight, but the ground game for Allen was churning. They win 37-20, 2-0 over two elite DFW teams, Jeff.
All right, let's move down to the greater Houston area. Some great games down there as well. One of the big ones, perhaps an upset, Cy Creek taking on Klein Oak. And Cy Creek came out early. They were looking good. In fact, look at these plays, but Klein Oak battled back in this one. Despite the early lead there by Cy Creek, they were up 10-0. Back comes Klein Oak. This touchdown right here, or short of a touchdown, but the next play will be a TD, would cut the lead to 17-7, and that was the halftime score with Cy Creek leading. And look at the footwork right there. Nice job. But in the end, Cy Creek hangs on to win it by a final score of 24-21. Let's go down to the Hill Country now. Let's check in with one of the big games. Think the color red, folks, when Lake Travis and New Braunfels Canyon get together. Baker Mayfield was throwing touchdowns. He had a couple through the air, one on the ground. Look at this pass play right here. This is Varshawn Nixon, but watch what happens at the very end. Nixon all the way down to about the 17-yard line. Big play right there. Nixon did have one play where he actually fumbled the ball into the end zone and it was brought back. But I tell you what, Lake Travis has been impressive to say the least at their start of the young season at now 2-0. But here is the touchdown run right up the gut. Very nicely done. And Lake Travis, huge winners, 49-7 over New Braunfels Canyon.
All right, Jeff, we have just had a huge play behind us, maybe the play of the game down at Westlake and Temple. Westlake was driving, trying to put this game away with the clock ticking down. Temple forced a huge 3rd and short, then an even bigger 4th and 1.
Wow.
And then they got it stuffed. So Temple's right back in the game looking for the ball right now. They're just about to take their first snap. We're going to get these highlights to you as soon as they get processed by the camera. Give us just a couple seconds to show you that stop. But right now,
it's called
Zach
rewinding
Allen,
the tape.
That's right. Zach Allen stepping back into the shotgun, looking to run the ball.
Roll it.
First down for Temple. Let's take a look at these defensive plays. Here's Jordan Seaver for Westlake stretching out, trying to get to the first down marker. It is not there. That was that fourth down play, I believe. And Temple's already signaling, no, it's the other way. They come out to measure. It's not. Temple driving, facing a 2nd and 7 right now from the 33 with 3 minutes left to go. It's tense, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's tense.
42-all. These two teams both 1-0. We'll talk more about this one in a moment. Fox Football Friday continues. Interviews and more headed your way.
Football Friday Overtime is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today. And by FredLoya.com.
Where's my little Ford read? That's coming up right after Wendy's. Wendy's first, though.
Yep.
Wendy's score updates, is that what we call them?
Yes, Wendy's score updates.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, let's see.
Call Corcoran. He's probably your best bet for Monday. Coach Corcoran for Monday. He's going to be your best bet. I talked to him personally. He should be there. Damn it. Shoot. Hang tight. I'm looking for it.
I just sent Scott another highlight. Another midway highlight.
I'm close. I'm almost there. Steele 42, Judson 35. It's final.
There's my Ford read I've been looking for. Fox Football Friday. It's the overtime part of our night. And I tell you what, we've had a great game here on Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart, Angela Heyman with you on the sideline. Let's get right to this game real quick, as a lot's been happening in our little commercial break.
Well, it's
right
getting
here.
pretty tense. Tied at 42, 46 seconds left. Here's your last two plays. Temple quarterback Zach Allen steps up. A big play downfield and a touchdown and probably game-saving tackle. Zach Allen again on the play fake, looking down the field, not much there. He's going to scramble up and not get knocked out around the 20, which means they're right on the edge of field goal range, currently facing a 2nd and 10 with again about 43 seconds left. And Temple has scored a touchdown. They are in. We will give you that play in just a minute, but that will put Temple up most likely by 7 with 38 seconds to go. Here it is.
All right, here is the touchdown right here.
Zach
the handoff.
Allen.
Oh, nicely done. Look at the run right there by Keith Buell. I told you to have the big game. He has the game-winning touchdown, perhaps.
Rub it in, Will, don't you? A huge game for Temple right now. It is now 48-42. Pending the extra point, that would make it 49-42. And those have been an adventure tonight, extra points out for Temple. That would make it 49-42. They're lining up for it right now. That would give Westlake the ball with 39 seconds left with a chance to tie.
Yeah, 39 seconds left in this one. And, wow, that's a big play right there by Buell, running that one in. Nicely done. He plays wide receiver and running back.
PAT is
Let's
up
check in with Angela real quick down on the sidelines where we could probably barely hear her. Angela?
Thanks. You're right. This crowd is crazy. They are so loud. We got the band over here. They're loud, too. Temple just capitalized on that extra point that's been
49-42. So now we'll see what Westlake can do. They're down 7. They will get the ball, though, with 39 seconds left.
39 seconds left to do it. That's
we'll
right.
We'll keep you posted.
A lot of other big finals, though.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the Permian Basin where Big Spring had Midland Christian tonight.
Yeah, Big Spring. I tell you what, they have been one of the surprise teams so far this year. This is, of course, Ryan Tannehill's brother, and Tobin Tannehill has been playing lights out so far this year. Look at him, number 12. Look out. Here he comes down the sidelines here. Now, keep in mind, Big Spring didn't win a game last year. Midland Christian won a state championship last year. Of course, lower classification, but Big Spring came in and just played their hearts out, and they end up winning this game. And thanks in large part to the play right here by Tobin Tannehill. He's just tough. He's gritty. He gets it done. He says, hey, don't worry about me. I got you covered. Look at this pass play
That's
right
a big
here.
throw right there.
Yeah, Tannehill looking good, and maybe his brother's giving him some great advice, now that he's starting with the Miami Dolphins. Big Spring wins it 17-12, your final.
All right, let's jump down into the Houston area for more final highlights from the Bayou City. Who do we have? Hightower in the Woodlands. Wow, the Woodlands really stretched things out late. 29-7. This game was low scoring for a while, but those Highlanders, Mark Schitt's Highlanders, really showed what they're made out of late.
Yeah, and the Woodlands, they kind of scored in all kind of ways in this one today. I mean, look at this play right here. You don't want to run that out. Here comes the safety. In fact, you do want to run that out. My bad, but that was a safety right there. So the Woodlands picked up the 2 quick points. They were up 2-0 early on, and they just kept it going. Look at this pass play for a touchdown in the back part of the end zone. So another huge play right there. And it's been fantastic. The Woodlands winning it, though, 29-7 over Hightower. All right, let's check in with the San Antonio area.
San Antonio area was a big matchup between Cibolo Steel and Converse Judson. Remember, Judson, losers to Lake Travis last week. Steel, big convincing winners over San Antonio Madison.
Whatever you do, don't get in the way of the team running out on the field.
Yeah, no kidding. Judson there in the whites gets an early touchdown. I tell you what, they gave Steel everything they could handle tonight. Steel's Justin Stockton, that's number 4. He had a monster game. He had 130 yards rushing, more or less out of the gate. He finds the end zone there to put Steele
holding on
back
that play.
in that. Oh, hey, don't ruin their fun. Come on.
Okay.
But another Steele little push right on the end zone there, and Steele goes on to win it 42-35. But if you're Judson, hey, you're bummed you lost, but you're really excited that you played a much better brand of football than you did against Lake Travis last week.
All right. The score right here behind us, Temple 49, Austin Westlake 42.
All right, let's take a look at these Wendy's keys to the game we talked about earlier tonight. It was defense, defense, defense. It's 49-42. That didn't come into play. Patience under center. Temple quarterback Zach Allen showed it. He's been great. Temple's ground game hadn't really been there as well as the passing game, but these home crowd heroes, Temple crowd's been nuts all night. They've been the 12th man from start to finish.
Hats off. Hey, and Jordan Sievert's been having a pretty good game himself. We'll see if he can lead Westlake back. Let's check in. We've got Donna's head coach, I believe, on the line right now, Manuel Moreno. Give us your thoughts about your game tonight, Coach. Manuel, can you hear us?
I can hardly hear you.
Oh, we're at a wild game, I might add, but you win 28-14 over Weslaco. Tell us how you got it done, Coach.
Hello?
Yeah, Coach, can you hear us? You win 28-14. Tell us how your team got it done tonight.
Yes, sir. We did win 28-14. Obviously, that was a great ball game. We started up the rival game again after 5 years. We went down 14, but our kids stepped it up and went on to run with 28 unanswered points.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Congratulations on the big rivalry win tonight. Y'all look really promising for the future. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Coach. We'll be down there next weekend in the Valley. We look forward to it. Hey, let's take a quick break. We'll give you the final on this game here. Fox Football Friday continues from Temple. $13, $12. Oh, we got it. Run. 7 seconds. Timeout.
It's going to be a Hail Mary.
Let's do the hook and ladder. What? Gonna hear this song the rest of the night.
Yeah, kidding me.
Gonna hear this song. Highlights? Cool. That's a pretty big win for Belton. I mean, you know, Coach Cheshire was telling me he thinks his team's back, and I guess not totally.
Yeah.
Craig Cheshire.
Yeah.
What'd you have on the final on that one, Jeff?
Yes, please.
Where's my read? Oh, there it is. I'll do my little read here.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Yes. Okay, let's come out of the break with Ford, and then we'll do Academy for the last segment. Oh, Jeff, for Academy Play of the Night, it's going to be that long touchdown run from Temple that made it 49-42.
Buell, baby, Buell.
Yeah, Keith Buell. We'll do that last.
Keith Buell, number 23.
I think it's 23, Buell. It's a long
Last touchdown
run on the right side. Yeah, but we'll do that last segment. Player of the Night.
And welcome to Fox Football Friday Overtime. You could hear the crowd roaring. We are here in Temple, and they have just upset the Westlake Chaparrals right here at Wildcat Stadium. And a crazy game, to say the least. A lot of offense. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart joining you here on set. We're just right here off the side of the field, and Angela Heyman down on the field. We'll have more from her in just a moment. But final score 49-42. Temple wins this. Hey, be sure to join us each and every Saturday morning at 8:30 right here on Fox Sports Southwest as we highlight the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week winners. You can also watch our show online at playeroftheweek.com, powered by your Texas Ford dealers.
You know, if I had a player to nominate, I don't have a vote, but I would look really hard at Zach Allen, the quarterback for Temple, who had a big night. Also, and I rarely do this, but in a losing effort, Arlington Martin's Kyle Hicks, they lost to Dallas Skyline tonight. He was pretty special. 124 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 203 yards and 3 touchdowns rushing. So he had a huge night. They still come up short. If you're looking for a winning effort, Zach Allen at Temple. Write it down. Nominate it. Do whatever you do on Facebook to put that thing in, because that kid played a great game.
Okay. More games and highlights and scores to get to, and a lot of big games all over the state of Texas. This has been kind of a fun week for us. And, week 1, as they call it, technically show 2. I know it's confusing. But here we go. Stony Point. Big game against Belton. Coach Craig Cheshire and his Stony Point Tigers on the defensive side of the ball here. Here comes Belton. Oh, this ball is picked off. Look at this. This game being played over at Reeves Athletic Complex in the greater Austin area.
Stony Point running this ball back, looking for pay dirt. Man, this kid's got to be exhausted. He's run 200 yards just to get 60. I think he's going to do it.
Oh, he fell over his own man.
I know. But and Stony Point's going to need those points later, because Belton actually played a pretty decent game offensively and defensively. Stony Point swarming as they normally do. Oh, and this ball's out too. And Stony Point falls on this one, so Belton hurting themselves with mistakes right now, and you can see the Stony Point fans are into it with a tiger print cowboy hat. It's a little odd. Run off the left side from Stony Point looking for space. He looks like he is going to find pay. Nope, still pulled up a little bit short. It was a defensive battle all night, Jeff, as you can see.
But Belton is the ones that come out on top there, 15-14, so a big win for the Tigers over the Dragons.
Exactly. Okay, Jeff, this game behind us has indeed gone final. It is 49-42. Temple is your winner. They scored the last 14 points of the game to take this one away from Westlake. The players and the fans and the band are all crowded up on this corner, jumping and celebrating, and they should, because it's a really cool win. And as Angela told us what feels like 4 hours ago, it was 4 hours ago.
Yeah, it was.
This win makes Temple 2-0 for the first time since 2003.
Oh, very impressive.
Long time.
Hey, I tell you what, they did the job tonight. The blue going one way, the white going the other. They found a way to come through. All right, Monday over Stanford, 34-27. This was a battle of a number 2 and number 3 team in the lower classifications. And I tell you, Monday, the Moguls with a big win.
Honestly, I think this may have been the biggest game in the state, regardless of class. Just they're 1A schools and no one talks about it. So Monday does come away with a 34-27 win. And I tell you what, Monday, they got every good of a chance to go on and play for another title game and maybe win one this year.
All right, Hewitt Midway, we talked about this earlier, 34-20 winners over A&M Consolidated. The Tigers are the team that are going to play Westlake next week. Let's check in with Angela right quick down on the field. Angela, what do you have? Okay, I think we've got a little audio difficulty there. That was Coach Spradlin with her there in the background. We'll get that fixed and go right back to Mike in a moment. But a big win for Temple. One of the biggest wins, I would say, in Mike Spradlin's tenure right here at Temple.
Well, he's been here for 2 years, so yeah, I mean, aside from the win that gets him into the playoffs last year, this has got to be it, because I think it builds a sense of belief, maybe more than anything else, in just the community that this team can play with the heavyweights like your Westlakes and like, you know, maybe South Lake Carroll next week. Hey, I'm not saying, because South Lake Carroll won big tonight against Midland, I'm not saying Temple's going to go out there and blow out South Lake or anything, but I really think they have a chance to play that team tough after the way they played tonight.
Hey, yeah, don't count them out. Of course, that game being played up in the DFW area, that'll be a lot of fun.
At Cowboy Stadium for part of the Lone Star Conference Festival, which is a really cool thing. You need to check that out.
All right, Lamarck over Texas City. Big rivals down there. 34-21 your final. Lamarck, of course, now in Class 3A, so this is no longer a district game. We talked about Donna earlier. They win 28-14. Good to hear from Manuel Moreno, and we'll be down in the Valley next week, of course, for McAllen and Rowe. All right, more highlights to get to in just a moment. We got about 10 minutes left on this show. Stick around, folks. Fox Football Friday continues from Temple.
She's good. Jeff's trying to get you.
Yeah.
I told him to come. I told him to come to the desk. Or do you want me to get him? All right. He said he wants to talk to his team. Then he's coming to the desk after break.
Well, we're hearing her. Is she okay?
Yeah, we just may not have time to get him.
But I mean, we're hearing her, so why don't we just go to her?
Oh, Jeff. Okay, we got to do Academy right out of the break to get that sponsor element out of the way.
Jeff Watts.
I think they're trying to get him on the field, Jeff.
That's fine. Just get him where you can get him.
Sounds like her mic's okay.
I don't care if you can get him on the moon.
I don't know why these bugs are hanging around me.
It's lights.
Yeah, thank you. Questions have to get answered. 49-42. Wow.
I know, but then they said, can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, here he comes. So do you want me to get him or take him to the desk when we come back from break?
You do the Academy thing.
After she does the interview, it sounds like. Right. Let's just start with Academy, Jeff. Let's knock that out, and then she'll be ready.
Keith Buell. Right, you're talking about the player of the game? Yeah, number 23, Keith Buell, K-E-I-T-H, Buell, B-U-H-L. He's number 23, scored the game-winning touchdown, and I predicted it right here. Welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It's the overtime segment. Powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart, Angela Heyman on the field. She's got Coach Spradlin with her, and let's go ahead and listen in. Coach and Angela.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, as you said, I'm here with Coach Spradlin. We were just chatting during the break, and he said that this was a wild game. Coach, tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I've been in a few like it. I don't know if I've ever been in one quite like this. I mean, we were absolutely horrific on special teams execution, but I tell you, I've never been more prouder of a group of kids for keeping the fight, keeping believing, staying the course, and making it happen.
Great caught. You're a chap killer.
Absolutely, Coach. You had a huge stop on fourth down there at the end of the game. Do you think the fans had anything to do with the way your defense stepped it up there?
No doubt. I mean, it's a thing I know. This place is awesome. I mean, that's why you come to a place like Temple, is to get this fan support tradition that we have here. It's an awesome night for the Wildcats. You know, and we're not going to get too, I mean, this is just a win for us right now. We've got to take this and move forward, get ready to go play another real good football team next week.
We talked about it at the beginning of the show. The first time since 2003, Temple has gone 2-0. Your seniors were in third grade, Coach. What is this going to do for the rest of the season?
Well, it's a big step for us. I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, you schedule great programs like Darren's got at Westlake to get yourself in a position to have a reward for playing ranked teams and giving your kids a chance to play, you know, playoff type football. And that's what we scheduled it for. That's why we did it. We didn't come out here with any other intention other than winning the football game. That's what we did.
Well, thank you very much, Coach. Congratulations on a great win.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
All righty, thanks, Angela. And Mike Spradlin, very excited. Of course, they'll take on Southlake Carroll, so he'll keep that team pumped up in practice all week.
If
That's
they're
the game
3-0 this time next week, then they've really got something brewing here that's special.
All right. Academy play of the game, Keith Buell.
Where else am I going to look? I mean, we just had arguably the game of the night behind us, and this touchdown run, the game winner actually has to be the Academy play of the night. It's one of the better runs I've seen in a while. Because he just didn't give up, and it happened at the exact right time. I mean, the team needs it, the fans are screaming for it, the coaching staff needs it, and he just delivers because a lot of kids, they go down on that first cut. They don't want to get the ball stripped out. They're just trying to make the smart play. He goes for broke, ends up cutting it back the other direction. Touchdown. Temple's a winner. 2-0 for the first time in what feels like forever. Congratulations. And as Coach Biden said, they played their hearts out.
Hey, we're going to have to cue up the part where I said Keith Buell's going to have the big play tonight.
Man, you are all over this. You are just riding this for everything you can find out.
I am. Well, hey, congratulations to Temple. Big win for them, 49-42 over Westlake. So a lot of big upsets tonight. Thoughts?
Well, it was a big night of football all around, and I think there's a couple teams, more than upsets, that were really just looking for validation. I think Temple here was chief among them. They played well against Round Rock. We're really looking for a good performance against Westlake. They got it.
Yeah.
I think Allen, after beating Southlake Carroll, shutting out Southlake Carroll last week, was looking for a big performance to validate. Well, they beat Cedar Hill tonight and looked really good doing it. That's another validating win. A lot of those across the state. By the way, a big upset we have not gotten to. I'm glad you jogged my memory. John Tyler did lose to Lancaster tonight. They were on the 1-inch line with 2 seconds left. Fumbled it. Lancaster goes on to win. How about that?
Hey, let's go down to the Coastal Bend. Cal Allen. This is the Cal Allen Wildcats, one of the favorites, of course, in Texas Football Magazine to win it all in Class 4A. They've got so much tradition down there, the Wildcats do, and they're playing at home, and that's a tough team. Look at that. The Cats, helmets up high and feeling good about themselves. Of course, this is Weslaco in town, and Cal Allen was showing up some defense.
Yeah, Weslaco East known for being a running team, but they're not quite as big and strong as they have been in years past. More of a speed running team. Well, Cal Allen had nothing to do with that. This was a low-scoring game for a lot of it. Weslaco East led for a little bit, but then the Cal Allen defense really shut the door. And I mean, they shut the door hard in the second half. 21-7 is your final. Cal Allen continues its dominance against the Rio Grande Valley.
All right, let's check in with the Valley area. The Valley, of course, we're going to be down there again next week. And this is Harlandale. Love the Redskins. And Lanier, look at the Redskin uniform right there.
Yeah, this is actually San Antonio, Harlandale, and near San Antonio, and you can see great catch there, fighting through traffic. That's a big boy. I don't know what happened. Oh, it looks like he's hurt, actually. That's tough to see. But he does get into the end zone. More power running from those beautiful jerseys right there to get into the end zone.
Cowboys fans don't like it.
Yeah, this game, I don't believe this game was close from the reports that I saw. Good patience in the pocket there. Lovely ball right down the seam. Wide open man. He's in for another touchdown. This one, I think, got out of hand fairly early, Jeff.
Yep, Harlandale winning big there. And that's kind of the old school Redskin uniform. I like it. 58-16 over San Antonio Lanier. All right, so a lot of things going on tonight. Of course, the Dallas-Fort Worth area was a lot of fun tonight. Big games up there. Next week, we're going to be in the Valley. Of course, we're going to see a great game with Nicky Rowe and McAllen High School. And I tell you what, we're looking forward to it. The Valley, they do a great job with their fans, but it's going to be tough to beat what Temple did tonight with their fan base.
Well, I don't know. What the Valley did tonight was pretty impressive as well. Harlingen loses to San Benito, which was a big upset. McAllen Memorial lost to Economides tonight as well. That was another big upset. And then Donna, renewing its rivalry with Weslaco, wins 28-14. Those are three scores that really shake the state.
Okay, well, hey, let's shake the state again. Fox Football Friday, we'll be there next week in the Valley. Stick with us, folks. We'll catch you next time.
Football Friday Overtime is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today. And by FredLoya.com.